Everybody, welcome back to Film Club. Unfortunately, as you noticed straight away, it is only me and Sandy today. We had also a change of movie at the last minute. I hope everybody got the homework details. So we are doing A League of Their Own. And of course, Jay isn't here. God, commitments for some reason. Don't know why. But Sandy. So we've jumped from Whiplash to your pick. What was on the wheel? A League of Their Own. So how you been?
I've been great. Weather is wonderful here. It's a good spring, and baseball is in the air. So this is a perfect film for this time of year here in the United States, of course. So hello to AWOL. Hello, Daryl. Glad you could join us. Daryl, I think one of the stars of this film is like your favorite person of all time. So a big
Yeah.
John Lovitz fan. Is that it? Was it John Lovitz? Oh, Madonna.
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 Yeah, we do have somebody in chat with a not. I wouldn't even class it as a secret crush now. It just literally went, "Whoa, there's a Madonna fan," and I was surprised. Like with this, like okay, 90. There's 92, isn't it?
1992.
92. So this is when Madonna just think started to get a bit controversial. Well, because this is the same year, and I looked it up. Is the same year she released that sex book that got banned everywhere in the world, near enough
Okay.
except for in the United States. So she started getting a bit controversial after this. But her to be one of the free billing, that was interesting. On like I was looking at all the promotional material, and it was
Yeah.
Geena Davis, well, Tom Hanks, Geena Davis, Madonna. It was all the three of them. So I found that quite interesting that they maybe it was a contractual agreement that
Which is
I've got to
interesting.
be on there. But
Yeah.
she's a bit like in the night now.
She's
She's
the
big.
big
She's
star,
the superstar, isn't
and
she?
no one knew who Lori Petty was. And for me, I think Lori Petty, obviously, Kit is it's really Geena Davis and Kit who are the, you know,
Yeah, they're the
two
leading
leads.
ladies,
Tom
I think.
Hanks is there, and some others as well. Um, but you know what? When Penny Marshall made this film, she also chose people who could play ball. Madonna knew how to play ball.
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell knew how to play ball. Geena Davis is an Olympic trained athlete, for archery, actually, not for baseball. But these are gals who grew up like me playing ball, and so I think you can tell. I think if this film had been made with those who were faking it, this would not be. We wouldn't even be talking about this film today because there had to be just a little bit of the athleticism there in order to make this film work. And I
Mm.
think that was a great choice on Penny Marshall's part. But yeah, 1992, A League of
Yeah.
Their Own. Girls are playing sports. Um, I like this film so much, and I chose it because this is telling a great story. It is, it's not a true story itself, but it is based in 100% truth. The All-American Girls Professional Baseball League was a real thing. I've been to Cooperstown and I've seen the exhibit that show the real life ladies who played baseball when the men were fighting World War II. So we have 2 weeks in a row. We always have these common threads.
Mm.
We talked a lot about World War II last week, and we're going to talk about World War II
Yeah, I
again
didn't.
today.
I completely forgot when we did our special. It was, I say, VE Day the next day, like for the UK
Yeah.
Wedding Lesson celebration. I completely, and then this whole week is the build, all surrounding it. So yeah, we've had This is it's a sports movie. It's also a comedy, but also the backdrop is a kind of it's got that war element into it. You know,
It
like
does.
there's one hard hitting bit we'll get into later, but yeah, there's it is all surrounding the women back at home kind of things like that,
It
and
is
there's
the home
some
front.
references. Yeah.
It really is. And so if you'll indulge me, I just wrote a short paragraph. I won't call it an essay, but I did just want to just want to share because this film, it really does mean a lot to me. A League of Their Own. This film is a fairly accurate portrayal of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League and captures the history of the day. Unlike some of the woke in-your-face fabrications produced today to make a fake righteous point by people undereducated and ill-intentioned, this film tells a simple story inspired by real history and weaves in slices of life on the American home front during the war. In just 2 hours, this film touches on more than just the advancement of women in sport. It subtly illustrates the constant worry of the women at home, fragmented families, exploitation, sexism, domestic abuse, segregation, alcoholism, and capitalism. It does so with charm and in a thoroughly entertaining way that is only incidentally educational. And so that's my take overall on A League of Their Own. Now, for me, this film meant a lot because I'm a huge baseball fan and I played ball. And I also had a huge interest in history. So it ticked all the right boxes for me. I saw it in the theaters. I watch it every time it's on television. My kids sit down and watch it with me. Now, for you, James, where did you find this film? Was it on television in reruns? Had you seen it before?
I think this is one that did well worldwide, and I've always said like baseball isn't my sport. You know,
Mhm.
I think as I keep on in our private chat, the Red Sox keep on coming on TV in the UK. Don't know why, but like it's just
Those
not my sport.
Boston people.
Yeah, I know, disgraceful.
Those
Never
Boston people.
have one on the channel.
No.
But yeah, but this like I always think baseball movies are the better movie. There's a lot out there that are they're good movies. Like you know, like there's not a good soccer movie, as you call it. There's not a good American football one that is, I think, is awesome.
No.
There's probably one that's probably, you know, ice hockey,
Mhm.
tennis. I probably can pick out Wimbledon was a rom-com. That's okay. Um, Otherwise, there's not many great, you know, sport ones really out there. You're going to get the boxing that kind of hypes you up, of course,
Yeah.
but it's kind of team sport. I think baseball does it well, and I think at this point you had Geena Davis, you know, known. Tom Hanks is brilliant, you know, at this era of what he can do. And it's just like the things about what we said with my girlfriend is the casting felt right for this movie is because
Absolutely.
when you put this on late, even though because you forgot to put it on the wheel,
Yeah.
but when it came, you said, "Oh, you put it on." I was like, "Oh, that's funny," because if it does, I watched it around about 2 weeks ago, and it was like halfway through, but we all sat down and watched the end of it because it is a lovable movie to watch. It's an easy watch. It's got it's got some hard moments, hard
Mhm.
hitting moments as well. But yeah, I just remember it being probably it did for me like a you know just coming into my teens when probably came out on cinema in the UK and yeah, it just always on TV and it's just literally I've found it because it's on one of our major networks as like their you know recommended you know go play kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good movie and I
It's a
mean
good
that because
film.
like it's not one of those ones where you go, that is Oscar. It's one like
No.
that's got like it's the greatest ever. But you sit. It's one of those ones where I know we're going into the. We haven't critiqued the whole movie yet, but it's one of those ones where you can sit back. And go, I enjoyed that, and I'm gonna watch it again if it comes back on.
Yep.
And that's what makes a good, fun-filled. You know, I if you're going to class it into the family film, you could, but it does have some really strong elements and kind of historical moments that they kind of subtly put in there, and
Mhm.
they're very get what you mean, yeah, and like that. So it's clever. Yeah, the cast, every position, every minor character, except for Bill Paxman, who could have been. Is it Bill Paxman? Is it? Bill Paxman is
Pullman.
her. Oh, Pullman, yeah, Paxman, Pullman. Pullman. He could have been anyone. He's not really in it, but
Yeah.
everybody else, like the owners, to even like certain people in the crowd, it's great. Like even like Madonna, I think she does this well. It's her
I
only
think so too. I think
her
so too.
only acting that I've gone, I actually like you in this. Like that. So yeah, I think Tom Hanks, I can't remember a movie where he kind of plays a nasty character at the beginning. Can't he
Yeah.
changes thing. But I can't remember him playing that kind of like, yeah, like
A jerk.
downtrodden,
Yeah.
yeah, a jerk, yeah. And Gina Davis is great in it, like her later films, and then she faded out. But she's good in this. I think she's great. I think her stature works. I didn't know if they purposely did that or how. I don't know how tall she is, but she is way
Yeah.
taller than all the
Catchers
other
are
women.
tall.
Yeah,
So
so they purposely, that might be, yeah, I didn't know that. So that's a
especially like when you're a
mm,
girl, right,
yeah.
playing softball or baseball, usually the tallest person on the team, if they're not a pitcher, which takes a special skill, you're either first base, but that's generally if you're a left-hander, or you're a catcher, and it's all about the wingspan. It's all about having long arms and being able to reach, from side to side. So
Mm,
um, now I can't remember who it was, but she was not the first choice for the film. And there's a whole load of folks that Penny Marshall and the writers went through before casting. But again, they wanted someone with us. They wanted
mm,
player. I was going to say actors, players. They wanted players, actors with athleticism and being able to, to catch and to look like you know what you're doing. You know, you have to when you play ball and you're playing a position and you go side to side, you're not running side to side.
mm,
You're grapevining, you're crossing your leg, you're you know moving side to side without turning your body, and that kind of takes a skill, as well as to be able to bend down and catch a ball and then throw as you're standing up. That's, for little kids, that's often hard. They catch the ball, then they stand up, then they take a minute. No, you have to catch
mm,
and throw as you're coming back up. And you could see in several of the scenes, Rosie O'Donnell, Madonna, and the other girls doing that. They knew how to play. They knew how to play. The only thing there is a technical problem with the actually how they played the game, and it is that um, in women's baseball, and even in baseball back in the day, but in women's baseball during this league, they pitched underhanded. They did not pitch overhand. Here they're
okay.
pitching overhand because I guess they didn't want it to look like softball. Um, and when they were portraying Dottie and Kit playing softball at the beginning of the game, that was a little bit wrong too. But we won't, criticize the film for those little tiny things. What I think, like, overall, you you easily get to know all the characters.
Mm,
You've got at one point, 64 girls down to 16 girls all in the same uniform. It would be very easy to not know Helen from Betty Spaghetti, right? But you do. And I think they did a great job with different hairstyles, different accents, different mannerisms right away to be able to distinguish each character and very quickly give them their own backstory, just in a few words. Now, at the beginning of the film, we start out the film with the Geena Davis character, Dottie Hinson, at her daughter's house. Her husband has passed away, and she's packing to go to Cooperstown. Cooperstown is the home of the Baseball Hall of Fame in the United States. It's in upstate New York. When you go there, it's a tiny little building. And I always think of every Hall of Fame I've been to, the Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, which I went to on the same trip. We went to Ohio and then we went to, no, sorry, wrong trip, different trip. Then we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. On a separate trip, when we went to Cooperstown, they're tiny. These are tiny little places. You get this image of the whole history of baseball in one building. but it's really a great place. I find Cooperstown to be more academic, like the true. I think baseball aficionados are are the academics. They're all about the stats. Whereas the Football Hall of Fame
Yeah.
people, they're all about um, the the clips and the great moments in football. Whereas the people who go to Cooperstown is there's like a library vibe about Cooperstown.
Oh,
But she's packing up because she's been invited to the opening of the exhibit for the All American Girls Professional Baseball League, which I visited in Cooperstown when I went there. It's called Diamond Dreams. And there were real women who played during the war. So she's packing up. She's heading out right before she heads out. Her grandsons are
oh
playing
yeah.
basketball, and she tells the older one, "Be really nice to you. You remember he's smaller than you." And then she tells the little one, "Kill him," because and
It's
you
the
you
competitive nature, yeah,
you
straight away.
already get that sibling competitiveness that is the heart of this film is Kit and Dottie
Mm.
and their relationship. And you know, Dottie is good at baseball, but Kit loves baseball. Dottie's good at everything she does. She's the tall one, she's the beautiful one. Kit is really living in her sister's shadow
Yeah.
her entire life. And that's hard, but she also lets that get to her.
Yeah.
She likes to
But that's the
wallow
thing,
in it.
like when we get to, because I say they reminisce. I think like the first bit is when we get to see Kit and things like you can see straight away there's an age gap. Like this is 42, 43, isn't it? It must be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is 42, 43. So even like that. So I always think Kit is just turned 17, 18.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
She's
definitely not.
yep,
And Dottie is like a
22.
newly, yeah, 22, newlywed, kind of had to go back home, what we'll see in a minute. Um, and her course life has turned upside down by the war and the
Mhm.
Americans entering, and oh, what's her Bob, isn't it? Bobby, Robert or whatever. Bobby. Is it Bobby? Is it Bob?
I think it's
Her
Bo I don't
husband, Bob.
remember. I don't remember.
Bob, I think it's Bobby,
I think it's
gets
Bob.
sent away. So he's been sent away, of course. The only thing she knows, she's had to go back home. Of and then yeah, be back back at home with the family. So
Cows. With the
I d
cows.
yeah, with the cows. I think the opening's quite good. I think the opening for this is very good, and to bring you an emotion later on. I think this is what this movie done quite well. Is what you said earlier. It's clever how you straight away know the different characters, and you get a bit emotional. It's quite an
Very emo
emotional
I
bit, like
cry. There's 3
yeah,
times
you
I
do.
cry in
Oh,
this
you do.
film
You're
every
like,
time,
"Oh,
and it's not just the
what?"
one you think it is.
No, there's
But
a
I
couple of there's 3 moments in the movie. I'm like, "Oh, I've seen this movie loads of times. Why am I welling up?" And it's just because they do it so well that you care about the
you
characters,
care about
and
them.
even when it's either off screen or on screen, it's things. So that's it. And talking about dirty Boston people, from Red Sox, he's just come in chat. So no out in the Red Sox anymore, Sandy. No dishing them. Hey Jay. But
Boston,
yeah,
not Boston, Boston.
sorry, terrible. Yeah, so I think the crossover is good because, of course, we get to like she looks at the. I'm guessing it's a practice ground where they're all
No,
meeting up. Is it?
so at the Hall of Fame,
Hmm.
there is in Cooperstown, there is a small field, and so there is a Hall of
Okay.
Fame game every year when new people get, elected, and here, these are since the women are coming to,
Hmm.
to join the celebration, what are they gonna do? Of course they're gonna play ball. Of course they're gonna pick up
Hmm.
a glove and a bat and play ball, and so these ladies are playing ball, and I just love that because some of the women in this film are the children of the women who actually played in
Yeah, yeah.
in the league. They're not around anymore. Well, they may have been, but they weren't on the field. But
No,
some of them are
they're on the yeah.
related to, yeah. And how cool is that? How
Hmm.
absolutely cool is that? But she's thinking back, and then she's going to do some time travel.
Yeah, but
Just
I like this bit. So they literally go into the men's game slightly, and now I'm guessing those photos and them reels are real. as they are baseball players from the 40s,
Yes,
and
that
I
is
haven't
Joe
got a clue.
DiMaggio.
I
That's
haven't. That's the thing is, I don't have a clue who they are, and did I care? No, because I thought it was a good
yep,
transition, and I did. That's the thing is when you have other movies where their central purpose is about a sports movie. I didn't need to know. I just it was
yeah,
good.
these are
You
real baseball
had 10
players.
yeah 10 seconds clip in like that of yeah men are going to war. Yeah, that's great. I know straight away, and then they go into, as you know, the capitalism of the Hershey guy.
Harvey, well, it's not Hershey, so
Is
so
it
let me
is it
just go
Harvey's?
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Harvey bar, but let me go back a
Mm,
minute to when the war was happening. Um, the several of the owners,
mm,
not just the big industrialist capitalists, but several people who really, were concerned about the morale of the country, asked President Roosevelt if baseball could continue. Like, please don't stop because we could have, as a country, said no more sport, right?
mm,
And there's a famous memo called the Green Light Memo, where Roosevelt said, sports shall go on. Now, that doesn't mean that the men who played couldn't be drafted and joined, because they did, but sports could go on. So now these owners had to figure out, well, how are sports going to go on? Are we going to just have old men play? Oh God, women? I don't know. Well, who's going to want to watch women? So I think this guy, who was played by Gary Marshall, um, in his Harvey bars, I think he's supposed to be, the owner of the Cubs, Wrigley
yeah.
Gum. That I think
Okay.
that's where we're kind of playing off, because
Because he
Hershey
does say I'm sure they say he's from Chicago, do they? But I
yeah.
don't think
So this
they
is
named the
this is a
yeah.
play on Wrigley
Okay.
instead of Harvey bars.
Yeah, Harvey bars.
Um, and so, there were, business owners who owned teams, but the teams had to make money. This wasn't just a hobby for
Mm,
these industrialists. They also had to make money. But baseball so quickly became America's pastime. I mean, there was just no question, right? From the early 1900s into the 1930s, it just rocketed in popularity. It was also something that got our country, like, through the Depression. Um, you could still watch baseball. It was cheap. You could take your family. Today, forget it. Um,
so
it's
just in general, I think the better sports always think of the cheaper sports because all you need in this one is a glove, a bat, and a ball, and you're ready
glove,
to
a
go.
bat, and a ball. You don't need,
That's why I like
the you can
soccer
play
is
on
really
any
good.
field. I
Yeah,
played
get a
on an
ball.
asphalt
That's it.
field. I played in the street. You play baseball in the street. You don't have to have any. You're right. You don't have
Mm,
to have special
yeah,
equipment.
that's
Other
like
than
like
that,
cricket. Give me a bat and a ball. You can play
yep,
anywhere.
absolutely, absolutely, and it was like, the sport of the people, and there was so much rivalry right away. Between the different big cities that were growing up, they would get up, have a team, and this was their thing.
Now you have to ask me because I know where Chicago is. I'm not that dumb, but like if you go by just because I'm an ice hockey fan, the original, the six as they call it, was it mostly an East Coast sport, and then it kind of then expand like you have
Yeah.
and league expansions. Is that how it
Yeah,
kind
you
of?
had
Yeah.
several teams in New York, you had Brooklyn, you had New York, you had 2 teams in Chicago. Um, Baltimore wasn't a team yet. The St. Louis Browns then moved to Baltimore and became the
Mm.
Baltimore Orioles. Then you had Kansas City and you had Atlanta. Yeah, so kind of was
I
East
do
Coast.
like how you ignored one team there. I do like that.
I did. There's some weird
There's-
team up north,
yeah.
but here's the thing, like they had, at the time, the greatest player on the face of the earth, and decided to trade him, and then they went, like, what, 190 years, I'm just exaggerating, like 100 years without winning the World Series, the curse
What's
of
it
the
called?
Bambino.
Yeah, Curse of the
Curse of the
Bambino. That's it.
Bambino. Um, but really and truly, it was a sport played in the cities. It was also a sport played in the Midwest. And so in this
Mm.
film, you're seeing this film, 86 long years. My gosh, Jay, this film w- takes place largely, and it was filmed in Illinois and Indiana. So out in those cornfields, yeah, girls and boys were playing ball. It's like you said, it's easy. You just need a bat and a glove and a ball,
Mm,
um, and you're going to play.
yeah.
Um, and you can play
Uh,
from a young age. It's just it's easy. It became our sport,
but I
but it
think it's
also
good as well
became
because, like, you get a British, of course. You could get a ball, have a kick around,
you
and then
can
I
kick.
always think,
Yeah,
when you've got the American sport, have a catch. It's just catch.
have a
Go out in
catch.
the yard and play catch. That's it. You always see that in sports and I'm sorry, in movies. Um, I just think that is one thing you have, and you have like in India and Pakistan. We're going to get into that, but it's cricket. Go
It's
outside and play
cricket
cricket, and you have
anywhere.
like that, and it's you have those things. But not in America, it's always you always have those movies. Do you want to go outside and play catch?
It
It's like,
is,
yeah, why not?
and Jay, I would also say a father and daughter classic too, because my
Mm.
dad would come home, and you met my dad today, Jay. My dad would come home from work, sometimes working 2 jobs, and he would be dead freaking tired, and we would say, "Dad, can we go out and catch? Can we go out and catch, please?" And he always would. He never, ever said no. So when I call him at 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning and say, "Dad, the sun's out. Come on, let's go hiking. Let's go, go." What does he do? You know, 30 years later, he hops in the car and comes down and goes hiking with me. But he's the best. But Jay, you have to tell us. So, did you play rundown? So, there's
What's rundown?
different ways you can play catch. So, if you're playing catch with 3 people, you have 2, um, 2 people at opposite ends of the block, and you have a runner in between, just like you have a runner caught between
Oh,
bases.
do you know what we call
Yeah.
it? We call
What do
it
you call
piggy in the middle.
Okay, so it's
Piggy,
rundown, so
yeah,
they're just trying
pig,
from the
yeah.
middle, they're trying to get to a base safely, but you're
Oh
gonna run
no,
them down.
our ones is you have one person and then it's them trying to get the ball off him. So it's kind of like bulldog, but it's called piggy in the middle. So they
Okay.
throw the ball above them, and then it's kind of like if you
Oh,
throw,
no,
if
'cause
if you miss throw, then they kind of charge and try and get the ball, and then it's if they get
oh,
the ball,
okay,
then you go in the middle and you have to go back and back and back.
got it.
Yes.
No, they can't touch the ball in this game because 'cause they're a base runner,
Ah, okay.
and then you
Ah,
close in on them, and you'll see it when you watch baseball, you'll see primarily between 2nd and 3rd base, right? Somebody takes a lead,
there you go.
too
Call
much
it
of the lead
pickle.
and gets caught, and then the 2 basemen squeeze in. They get closer and closer until they can tag him and
Ah, okay.
tag the person out. But if you drop the ball and the person gets safely to a base, then you're the runner. So yeah, it's kinda like that. But again, easy to play. So Mr. Harvey here, well, we can still play baseball. The president has said baseball can go on, but he doesn't have players anymore. So what's he gonna do? And he sends out scouts. He sends some scouts out to the
Yep.
Midwest
Yeah,
primarily.
we get sent to Wilmington, Oregon. Just
Yeah,
looked it
all the
up.
way to
Yeah.
Oregon. That's right. Dottie's all the way in Oregon.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, there. So where explain to people geographically where is Oregon? Because
so
I
Oregon
know.
is as far from where I live as you possibly can be. It's all the way on the west coast of the United States. It's so the top state, if you don't count Alaska, the top contiguous state is Washington, and just below Washington is Oregon, which is just above California. So you only have those 3 states on the West Coast, and Oregon is right there. So Oregon is like farmland. Actually,
Mm,
there's winemaking there today, but here you see the illustration of farmland. This is,
yeah.
America's. It's not the heartland, but it's definitely farmland. And what do the girls do after a long, hard day of milking cows and hauling hay? They play baseball, which is awesome. Which is awesome. And you see right away, Kit and Dottie are really after each other. Um, Kit doesn't listen. Kit goes
No,
after the high hard ones. It's just she can't, what is it? Um, she
leave
can't
the
lay
high.
off
Yeah.
them, and she
Yeah.
can't hit
That's it.
them. She can't hit them, and she can't lay off them.
But
So
that's it. Like she's trying to give her friendly advice, and because it's siblings, it's like no, I know what I'm doing, and of
you're always
course
gonna do the
she's
opposite of what your
yeah,
sister
and then
tells you
she's just
to do.
gone out
Well,
there, and yeah, it's when you're supposed to, she gets 2 high ones, and they're throwing underarm at the start on this one.
mhm.
It's softball.
'Cause it's softball.
Yeah.
Now,
So
in this place, at this time, you would not have been throwing the windmill pitch like they're throwing here, like the really hard softball pitch.
mm,
I do not think they're throwing like that back in the 1940s. I
mm,
think it's a little bit more of a straight. maybe slightly sidearm pitch, um, but still. Now, the uniforms, they did a really good job here. I think they did a really good job on the uniforms and the way the gloves were they're just beaten up. They're not the fancy schmancy gloves. They're very small compared to what you have now. You have bigger gloves now, and no equipment, no helmets, no knee pads, no shoulder, not shoulder, forearm guard, which batters wear. Nope, none of that. And this is how it was. This is how it was back then. Um,
Well, I
now,
hope for the men that they did wear cups. Let's just say that.
I don't have any knowledge of that. You'll have to check with someone else about
1940 cup.
that.
I think it was one of the first things they invented in cricket. I know that before the pads. They were like so.
When I
But
was little, I didn't wear a helmet because we didn't have to.
no,
Glad I
in
did when
cricket
I
we.
got older because I had several crashes, and I'm really glad I wore a helmet when I got
I can't
older.
remember when they introduced you had in the sorry, I'm gonna have to go for cricket because I was a cricketer. In cricket, they introduced that you had the option to wear one in probably 95 that you had the option, and then
Mm.
later on it was you had to wear one. But as a fast bowler, that's what I used to do is I would warn the batsman if they weren't. I went, the first pitch is gonna be a bouncer, and that's was the rule is I'm bouncing it to aim at your head. And then
Mm.
they were like, no. So of course I was 15 then, gonna go a bouncer, and I'm telling you, and literally, yeah. And then they're like, of course he can't. Of course I could. Yeah, once I knocked somebody out, but couldn't do
Oh
anything
my
because it was
god.
I warned you. You had to. I said put the helmet on, and the umpire went, yeah, fair ball. He's aiming for your head. He went for your head, and that was it. So yeah, you can warn them. So that's it. But
Well,
now it's mandatory. Yeah. So that's a moment.
thank goodness
Yeah.
things have improved.
Yeah. But I don't know what's like. I don't know. Like, what is it? Like 100 fast ball in
100 miles an
baseball? It's gonna be
hour. Oh
100,
yeah, 100 miles an
miles. Yeah.
hour, easy. Yeah,
Yeah, and
easy.
that's like the a fastball. What is
Mhm.
straight? So you're looking. I don't know. Probably with a
Shattered
pitch
jaw is
change.
what
Yeah,
you're
a pit.
looking at.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not even funny.
yeah.
It's like baseball
Mm.
that is no
Yeah, I've
joke.
seen a couple of, but like even in cricket, you're still looking high 80s, probably coming up to 90s, and that's pitching, and then the ball ricochets off the floor.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's hitting with that either baseball or cricket ball. They are heavy balls.
Yeah, by
So
the
yeah.
time my kids played, my
Mm,
younger daughter, she was an all-rounder. I mean, she played every position, but then just a few years ago, it got to the point where you have to choose, when you get to 12 years old, 13ish, you can't
mm.
play a little bit of every sport. You kind of have to hone in on one or two, basically one a season. And sadly, to my dismay, she gave up softball, but she was so good because she's got the long, lanky arms. But when she played, now there's a full face guard as well.
Yeah.
So for batters, all batters, not just a helmet, but a face guard. And because she was a pitcher, she also wore a face guard. So glad for that. Just these little things like, you don't want a broken
Mm,
nose or a broken face, especially being a pitcher. And some of these girls, I mean, age 7, 8, 9 are cranking the ball. I mean, just hitting it super hard. So, but
yeah.
tons of fun.
So
Definitely
Tomby's
America's
just raided. Thank you, Tomby, and welcome
pastime.
everybody from
Hey,
his
Tomby,
chat.
thank you.
So hey, thank you.
Cheers,
Yeah,
cheers.
but yeah, so we kind of get straight away. Kit on this goes straight out.
Ugh,
She like naivety. She leaves
stubborn.
like
She's stubborn.
she's she gets the high pitch like
She says, I
Mrs.
like them
Botham.
high. Yeah, great. You like
Yeah,
them high, but you can't hit them. And she
but
can't.
she's short as well. She's short, isn't she?
And
So
she's
like
and her bat is too heavy.
yeah,
Dottie's already told her that bat's too heavy.
mm,
I used to swing a bat way too
yeah,
heavy for me, and thank God I figured it out at some point in my life. Um, but
yeah,
she's stubborn. She's
yeah.
not going to listen at all.
Yeah, but who's in the crowd? We find out later is the only person who's laughing.
Scout.
A scout who's
We have a
laughing
scout.
with.
He's
I
Ernie.
sorry, go on,
His name's Ernie.
Ernie. What's the guy's name who plays him? I always
John
forget.
Lovitz.
Oh my god, he's brilliant in this.
He's
He
so good.
like he's really funny, and like even there's certain bits he does, but he's just play. I think he plays it great, and yeah, he's like comes in at the end, and you're like, oh great, I'll see him again, even though it's not the same actor, of course, but it's the
Yeah.
same kind of thing. I think it's great. So yeah, um, he's laughing his head off. Of course, Kit and Darcy have back, but who's approaching the mound? Is it the mound? No, not the
The
mound. It's
mound. Mhm.
the mound is the picture
Pitcher's
with the
mound. Mhm.
picture, yeah, and then of course we've got Dottie, who looks a bit more professional. Let's say she's holding
Yep.
like looks like she's. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do that. And
She's
then of course,
confident. Yeah, she's
yeah,
got that confidence. Kit doesn't
yeah,
have the confidence.
no,
That's the issue there too.
yeah. So she hits, and it must be like the end of the game because she wins the
Yeah.
game, doesn't she? Really, and all the crowd go Dottie, Dottie, and it kind of uh, ugh, the scout is, okay, we might
Mhm.
have something here, kind of like that. And then, of course, the next one is they're going back to the farm. And again, this is quite good. It's good little, just a little, we have a little walk to show you that the immature Kit and then the kind of the older sister and Dottie, but then they go straight into um they've got that sibling rivalry like that.
"Well, why do you have
So
to walk
it's
so fast?" "Why well, go ahead,
yeah,
walk faster than me." And as soon as Kit starts walking faster, then Gina Davis starts, they're just
yeah, it's great. It's a
racing
bit
into the back to the house.
great. It's just straight away from that baseball scene where you've got Kit being very immature, and then this scene, that's it. That you know exactly what this situation is between these two. So it's very again, it's very well done by the director of like we don't need to give you a more than we're showing you because they could have had a family meal with this and then
Yep.
like but they didn't need it.
Nope.
What you got with the parents is they're sitting around the radio and the mum tells them to shut up because dad's trying to listen to the radio. That's all you need to know, and we got that straight away. And of course, when they go back, they just have to go back to their daily job.
"You got
Their
chores to
daily job.
do. Get back
Yeah.
to those chores."
And does it hurt them? I love this. He's like,
It's
ugh,
kinda
does it hurt
deadpan.
him?
You know what's funny?
Yes.
He's a funny guy, but
Mm,
he's deadpan. He's so dry when he delivers these funny lines. I
yeah.
agree. I think he's great. I think he's fantastic. I think he's good. I think, in a minute, you're gonna see the business manager of the team or the league,
Mhm.
played by David Strathairn, who I adore him in everything he does, and he's just not in enough films.
Eh,
He's a
Stargate.
stage actor, not in enough films.
Mm.
Love him in another great baseball movie, 8 Men Out. Um,
Is he in that?
yes, he's in that. He's young in that film,
Oh, that's probably why I missed him.
8 Men Out.
That's a good movie.
He's
That's on
the,
our wheel.
um
That's on our wheel.
he's the holdout. He's the
Ah, okay.
Eddie, the first baseman who refuses to play along. He's the
Mm,
one who says, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this." And um, but yeah, he's tremendous. But yeah, John Lovitz is tremendous. And
yeah.
what he's offering them, what he's
Well, not
offering
them.
Dottie,
Of Dottie,
what he's
yes.
offering Dottie is, it's not the greatest deal, but it's a way off the farm. Dottie doesn't have to get away off the farm because she's married. She is a married woman.
Mm,
But boy, does Kit, she says,
was it?
and
Yeah.
really, that's one of the first lines that gets me misty is when she delivers that line, "I gotta get out of here." Like, what is there for me? I gotta get out of here. I gotta find a way out of here. I I honestly think she steals the show acting wise, Lori Petty, and she doesn't get the top billing that Gina Davis and Tom Hanks get. I think she has more of the emotional, uh, you know, roller coaster to ride through. But she's so desperate and she wants to get out. And Dottie, she's a nice big sister. In a way, she's joining this league. She doesn't have to, but she's going along
Yeah.
so that
It's not
Kit
even
can
for the
go
money
along.
because it's like, was it?
Yep.
You're earning $30 a week. We give you $75.
He'll
You know,
he'll take her if Kit can come along, but
yeah.
then when he kinda
Oh.
slaps her arm and says, "Next time," she's
Ooh,
like, "Oh, wait a minute, you got a
I'm a
rock."
pitcher. Yeah. He's like,
Pitcher?
"Oh, okay." And that's it,
Alright,
yeah,
okay, okay. I
yeah,
love this scene. I
yeah.
love this scene when they're jumping on the train. Absolutely love it. It is, they're
Oh, I
running, they're
the best bit about this bit is the comedy value of him just before it to give it levity, to make it look it because otherwise I think this would look too serious because he's blatantly a salesman who's taken advantage of the war, and he's like, yeah, and he's like, if I was you, I would kill myself. I'm off to go and find you a pistol. And it just, but he plays it so dry. Oh my
it's
God,
so
why do
well.
I sit next to every bloody
Next to a
time?
vacuum cleaner
Yeah.
salesman, every
Yeah.
bloody train.
And he sits there and he goes, "Well, at least they can run." And I like that because it brings in that, I think if they were just running and without his comedic value, it would have looked like a serious, we've got to get on the train. But he just
Yeah.
kind of gets there. And when they go, he just takes the piss out of them.
Yep.
I think it's great. I think it's absolutely superb acting by him. The writer's job, but how he just goes, I'm going to downplay it. It's funny, but I'm not going to make it funny. It's just literally, I'm going to have this monotone voice. I think it's great. I think he's amazing in it. Yeah, for those opening sequences, like I one gripe, I just wanted him more in the movie, but he's a scout, so he's
I
off,
know. I
because he's
know.
great.
It would have been great. So they're on a train. Where are we headed? We're headed to Chicago. How long does that take? Well, we got to make one stop. We got to make a stop along the way. And we're going to meet the
Marla.
beloved Marla Hooch. Now, in terms of characters, she's got to be my favorite character in this film. I just
You you adore her because
you
they and
do.
I
And she
think it's
gets a
like,
great ending too. She
yeah,
gets a great ending.
and I think it's like like to play this as an actress or anybody who's like, you're the ugly one, and having to play that and
The
literally,
ugly, awkward
and
one. Yeah.
they keep talking about, but like, oh, because like straight away, like, she's smashing it, this ball until her father goes, now be a lefty, and
She's
then,
a
oh
switch
no,
hitter.
oh
She's a switch
yeah,
hitter. She's
and all the
awesome.
yeah, so these teenagers who she's like they're pitching like against her, they're like, she's just smashing it, smashes a few windows, and then they're like, yeah, we've seen enough. Kit and Dottie are like, she's good. And the dad is like, she's
Oh,
just got an
bless
eye.
the dad
If she was born if she was a boy, she would be, I would
on
be
the
up,
Yankees.
yeah, on the Yankees, we were calling me now. And then of course she turns up, little cap down, and he's like, lift up your hat like that, and he's
Oh,
just
the
like,
face.
oh, like that, and it's just
Oh,
like,
bless her.
and it's just bless her. You're like, oh, so she, yeah, and then he's like, ugh. Yeah, and he's literally, yeah, we'll tell you, we'll let you know or something,
We'll
doesn't
let
he?
you know, and I
Uh,
like it Dottie and Kit put their
yeah.
bags down.
So
They're
yeah,
not going anywhere.
they have a cry, like, and he's right, like the dad, like just be like, oh, it's, he kind of pleads, it's, my wife is gone. This is the only thing I need to do, and he makes it like it was his fault that, she's not
He
the
raised her as a
prettiest.
boy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
raise her a boy. That's why she's not pretty. But yeah, Dottie, and yeah, slam down their bags. It's like the only I and he comes honest with them. He's like, no, I've got to, this is the category. You got to be able to play, but you also got to be pretty, and
Gotta be
that's
a
it.
dolly. You gotta be a
Yeah,
dolly. Mhm. And they're
that's
like,
what the
"Oh, no,
league
we're
want.
not having it. We're not
Yeah,
having it." The
uh,
actress's name is Megan Cavanagh,
mm,
and, I love her. I
yeah,
absolutely love Marla Hooch. What a great, great name,
yeah.
and she's on the team now. She's coming along.
Well, it's coming to the tryouts,
Yep.
isn't it? But I do, when you get to it, and we'll get to it. Oh, you just feel good for her. Like that.
I do.
It's
But
great.
see, like I said in my little essay, you're getting from each of these characters,
Mm,
you're getting a slice of American life right now. And so you've got the farm girls, you've got, you know, girls who are, girls and boys in broken homes, whether it's because their father was gone or died in World War I, or because, the depression. didn't treat the family well, all those things. And here, Marla being raised by a single dad, it's hard. Um, it's incredibly hard. And what is a woman going to do who at this point in time, it's sad to say, if you can't still, even in the 40s, if you can't get married, you're up a creek. You're not going to be able to live on your own. You're not going to find a really great job as a woman in the 1940s. You have to get married to be able to go out on your own, to be able to own a house, to be able to own a car, or to even learn to drive. So Marla, probably being an only child, raised by her dad, he's got to get her out too. Just like Kit said, I got to get
Mm.
out of here. He knows she's got to get out of here in order to have a chance to have a life. And what a very real and emotional scene, speech by him. Please take
Yeah.
her, please. She's got to get out of here. I think it's
Yeah.
great.
But he's underutilized. He's a great actor. He's like, you see him in a lot of
Yeah.
things, but he's
Hmm.
but that's the thing is like this movie, the little bits. I love the actors who do those little snippets, and they're gone, but they do it so well. And I think like that really levitates this movie, higher to be an enjoyable watch. Like these are good actors, like in
Hmm.
minor roles, who are just there. You've got like a minute of lines, and they all just do it really well. They're like they knew the importance of the story. It's great lead by the director. It's great.
And it's very simple too. Again,
Mm.
they're good speeches. They're not
Yeah,
overdrawn. They're quite compact, and you get the point.
yeah.
They definitely get the point across.
Mm. So they're off to the tryouts. They go
Off
down
to
the
tryouts.
dugouts. But before they get there, he has one thing. There's some grass here. Cowgirls don't eat it. Like a great line. And I think that was added. If you listen to the actual
Oh
audio, I
yeah.
think they've added that at the end. They just wanted like him. Well, you're walking out, you're not saying anything. Yeah, you've got to say something. Like, just it's funny. Tell me the stadium.
So
No,
it's going to be Harvey Stadium, but it's supposed to be Wrigley Field,
and
right?
real
So
life. What is it
in
in real life then?
in
It is.
Chicago, Wrigley
Oh,
Field.
is that? I didn't know if it was, and they
Yeah.
just didn't. Yeah, they use Chicago's one. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, but they're calling it Harvey slash
Yeah.
Wrigley. And there's a whole thing. If you want to learn a really, I highly recommend, if you're interested in history, if you're interested in like business history, the rivalry between Wrigley and Hershey during the early 1900s is an amazing story. Wrigley actually wanted to be the chocolate king. He didn't want to be the gum king, but Hershey, you know, was dominating, and so Wrigley shifted to chewing gum. So it's a whole thing about their
Ah.
rivalry, um, and and so yeah, look those stories up because it is really cool. And there's even today, we still have obviously Hershey bars and Wrigley gum,
Yeah.
but there's a personal rivalry, and they always wanted to one up each other. So Hershey had a park, an amusement park, so Wrigley buys a baseball team.
No.
It's just they were
Yeah.
just one upping each other.
Now, before I put the next picture up, because we're going to see some other actresses and players. Daryl, I don't think you're in chat, but just in case you come replay, this might be a cold shower moment. So we get to meet Madonna,
May.
May, all the way May, of course, and Rosie O'Donnell who plays Doris. They
Doris.
Doris, and they know each other. I like this back because they're a bit like they've got this like I'm guessing they're supposed to be New Yorkers. I'm guessing that's the only kind of best I'm getting from them.
I'm
Um,
thinking, yeah, it has to
yeah,
be a big city, right? It's
they
gonna
got
be
a bit
New
of a
York.
twang, but it's not that
It
Boston
could
twang.
be
So we know it's not.
Chicago. But and here's what I like, I love they grew up together,
Mm,
they've got that relationship. Later on though, and this is where this movie really gets you if you watch it 2 or 3 times, the backstory from these characters, it's all gonna
mm,
come out. You have to listen for it. Because later on in a conversation when the team's not doing so hot and the Madonna, the May character kind of breaks down and says, I'm not going back to what I was before. I'm not going back to earn 10 cents a dance for some guy to sweat all over me. and it was Doris's father who owned a dance hall. Now, the mind might wander as to what exactly May was doing in that dance hall, but you get that kind of little sad
Mm.
backstory that they had a life that was just not the best. They did whatever they could to grind out a living, but she gets so emotional about not going back to that. It must have been a little more than just dancing, and it
Yeah.
must have been difficult for her. But you get that those so different, each of them having their different story, and I love that. And initially, you don't like her. They're both they're bullies. They're bullies, but they're just as insecure as everyone else.
Well, yeah.
And
Well,
when
they
they
go on,
realize,
didn't they? Yeah.
yeah, and
But
when
that's
they
the thing is
realize,
they go, there's well, who's here? There's 100. There needs to be 64 picks, and then they quickly do the maths, and they say,
I'm like,
yeah,
you are going home.
it's
Maybe
going
some
here, and then
you
they
are
throw
going
the
home.
ball at for Rosie, Doris as hard as she can, and it's good. Like that. Well, some of them are
Respect,
going to be going it like that.
instant
She's like, yeah.
respect.
And that's it. Ah, you are, you're not just a here for a pretty face or whatever. You can actually, you can play. So yeah, it's straight away we get that, and I think that's a good little catch. That would hurt your hand though.
Oh yeah,
Something like
never
that, you'd be like,
barehand it. Yeah, we're not
yeah.
barehanding. No, 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 no. Uh-uh.
But yeah, whilst we're getting that, we get an off bit of the. I'm guessing this actually was a historical thing that we had
100%.
a
There were
women's group who were getting. Women have to
Yep.
be in the kitchen behind, waiting for the men to come home, doing the war effort, not doing a male sport. Let's say that. Yeah.
100%. These are the same women who didn't want women in trousers,
Mm,
who didn't want women working except in, the war required jobs. And they were, as she said, against the masculinization of women.
mm.
Um, Now, I could think of a lot of other things much worse than playing baseball. But these old ladies had to have a cause. They had to have some reason, to complain and assemble. And yes, they thought baseball or sport, was evil for girls to be playing.
Mm. The devil's work.
The devil's work. And this is
Ah,
exactly what these old
yeah.
ladies look like. It's
Mm,
exactly what they look like with their little hats.
So
So
we get a
their
tryouts,
tryouts.
and we get back and forth, and they pick the teams, and then we just get a very good, l- a quiet good to show the difference of, I suppose, the late girls there, ladies, and things, because we get,
I'm dying. I hate this scene, just gets me.
well,
It gets
no,
me. And I think like when you watch the movie the first time, I think I
mm,
got it right away. I was like,
yeah,
"Oh god. Oh
she
god.
can't
She
read,
can't
yeah.
read. She can't read." And then, the relief when someone in the sitting
It's a
down really
good little again, it's clever because it introduced that.
realizes it.
Yeah, this is like you're in a state of time, I suppose, like that period of time,
Ugh,
where yeah, not everybody went to school, not everybody was educated that well, and yeah, you can play. She's probably been like a farm girl, didn't need to, go to school or did minimum education, enough to read a couple of passages or learn from the Bible. That is probably it. And I
not
thought he
even
was a
her own
very,
name.
very, yeah,
Mm,
yeah, and couldn't, yeah, can't read or write, and it's just, yeah, and then that's you. Come with us. You're. I think she's a peach, isn't she?
she's a
She's a
peach. You're a
peach. So
peach.
she.
You're
So we find out there's straight away there's the bells. What is going to be teamed, and then the rest they're going to get owners later, and there's going to be four teams. I think they just say. I think there's just the four, isn't it?
4 teams of
Is it four?
16. Yeah.
Four,
Mhm.
six? Can't remember. Yeah. So yeah. And you're going to be wearing ta-da! And they
We can't
all,
play in that. We
yeah,
can't run in that.
and yeah, I do like Dottie's one. Well, lucky for you, I've got a squat in it.
I've got a squad because she's a patsy.
I love it. And then of
Uh,
course, the I suppose what is he? He's not the owner, he's just the organizer, isn't he? He's the
I think
kind
he's
of,
the league
yeah, the
like, he's
lead.
from the
Yeah,
league, not the particular company. So
yeah.
he's playing Ira Lowenstein,
Mm,
who, I think this is based on a true character, a true
mm,
person in history who was a huge advocate for, the women's league. He wanted to see it succeed, not just because it was great to have women playing sports, but he did recognize that it was so important to keep morale up during the war, and that this was
Mm.
one way to keep morale up. And when they're all complaining about the uniform, he basically lays it out to them and says, "Look, they're not just coming here to watch you play baseball. They're coming here to get a look. And you either you either wear this or you're not going to play."
But I say we have 32 girls, whatever it is, being
At the
on
bus
a
stop
bus
now.
home,
Yep,
and they will wear a bikini if I told them to. And
exactly.
then and then May shouts out, "What about where can I can't even put my cigarettes in them?" And he tells them there's no cigarettes, there's no drinking, and there's no
No
men.
men.
And they're like, "Oh," that's it. So it's the law is laid out, and also you're gonna do. What are you gonna call him? You're gonna be trained to be. I think he calls it. You're gonna be trained to become a
You're going
proper
to
lady.
finishing school,
It's gonna finish,
charm
charm
school,
school.
and you are all going to be ladies. And this is like, I put this in the I put this on the Twitter, the X,
Yeah.
that you put. It's the graciously and grandly, and she's just arm up, arm down, arm up, arm
Oh, it's
down, and it's just
brilliant.
so uncomfortable for her. You can tell, like, she's hating life right now,
Oh,
but she's trying.
yeah,
And
and then
they're going to charm
books.
school, to work on their
Mm,
posture, and it's not
I
exactly
always laugh. This is actually used to be a fig, though. When you actually, it's quite, it's. I'm guessing there's going to be everywhere, like oh, you've got to be there if your entitlement is to find the proper man. Let's say that, and that
Yeah.
is what your that's thing. So I'm guessing like you got some, royal royalties around the world still do it, and probably like new money in America. They still do this. It probably not is this, but they
Oh, some of the
yeah
private
yeah
schools have
mm,
these,
yeah
elocution lessons, and, whatever they call it, the charm school. I forget what
mm,
it's like, just to be professional. And there's executive training for professionals in the US. I know I need
mm.
to do this because posture, as we all start to get older, posture is important. So I may need to walk around with a book on my head to work on my posture. But then the tea drinking, and, sip, don't slurp. Sip, don't slurp. And then Doris is dunking. She's dunking. We don't dunk. We don't dunk. I dunk, but we don't
It's funny.
dunk. You got to
It
dunk.
is, yeah. I like this. It's just funny. And then of course I don't know, the lady who runs it, um, goes through them and she's like, "Oh, very nice. Oh, we need to do the eyebrows. It should be like that. Oh, very beautiful
There should
eyebrows."
be 2, the eyebrows. There
Yeah.
should be 2.
And then she also gets to her, "What should we do here? We hope there's night games." Like that. And then
Yeah,
she's like, she
poor
just left there
Marla.
like, oh, they
Poor
can't do anything
Marla.
to like just literally that's all. That's it. It's sad, it's funny. But yeah, did you oh, what? Hold it. Did the RF not send you to finishing school? Well, no, but I did know somebody who had to go to elocution lessons. Had to send their speech was so Geordie of
Oh.
Newcastle, they had to go because when people couldn't understand what he was saying over the comms, so they had to send him to elocution lessons to actually be able to
Oh,
pronounce his words correctly.
I kinda wonder that because, sometimes I listen to the 911 or the police
Mm,
scanners here in Baltimore, and some of them I just wonder, like, I can't understand them. How on earth? I guess the dispatchers get used to it.
yeah.
Shout out to my cousin who's a firefighter. I always know when he's on the on the comm. He has such a distinctive Baltimore accent, and I love him to death, but I always know when it's him. And my daughters will say, "Is that Uncle so and so?" And I'll, "Yep, that's him," because he's just got his distinct accent on the radio. But now we meet our prospective manager, Jimmy Duggan. Boy, is he a washout.
Yeah. So he meets of course, he once batted in Major League. Um, they have a go. Yeah, he's straight away. You find out he's a drunk. He's like, "Have you stopped drinking?" And he's like, "Well, not since I can't afford it." He plays it off, and He turns up to this meeting. You can tell he's half cut.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, he's not stopped drinking
yeah,
at all. He's still
no,
drinking now.
yeah, and yeah, he's because once I can't remember like 61 or whatever, like how many runs he did in the World Series, and he kind of upset like did you know so many home runs. You kind of plays out the owes him one, and that's why he's like, yeah, that's why I'm giving you the job. But
Yeah,
how's your knee? And he's like that, and he goes, my friend goes, well, it would have been better because his injury was his fault because he fell out of a hotel like window
drunk.
drunk. Yeah,
Yep.
so that's it. So
It wasn't a work-related injury,
yeah,
it was drunk.
yeah. So I'm guessing they're like straight away is quite clever how they do that, especially put us out his knee, is because he I'm guessing he hasn't been called up or serving. It's because
Right.
he's
Has
injured.
no
So yeah,
cartilage in his knee, as he
yeah,
says
something.
later.
Yeah. So a major fan of this movie has just said, "Hi guys, hi Jade."
Hey, Jane, I'm so glad you love this film because I love this film too. It is such a good film. But,
Yeah.
and while it's not said, and while you really don't like this guy initially,
Oh, he's an arsehole, isn't he? He's a proper
he
arse.
is, but also during this time, for some of the men who weren't serving, there was underlying guilt.
Hmm.
And so, you had such alcoholism. This is after prohibition is over, so we're drinking again here in the United States. And whether you were, severely injured in service, whether you saw your friends killed, or whether you were home and felt that survivor's guilt, all of those kind of played into the level of alcoholism during this time. So, yet again, I think this is where the film really takes a moment with every character to portray something really important that was happening in the history of the time. And what a
Hmm.
great vehicle to do that in a sports team where you're going to have, 16, 17, 18, whatever, a real baseball team would, you'd have 25. Um, what a great device to kind of choose each character and show something a little different through their backstory and through their character, and their mannerisms to reflect what was happening during that time.
Hmm. Yeah, it's good. I think but yeah, and it's even to this point, like we set up quite well as well. Even the owners don't really care. It's girls playing baseball.
Yeah.
Like you've just got to sit there, give him a wave. That's you done. So he's been given his remit straight away. We don't care if you're dry. Like really, they don't like. We just need a name. Everybody who's a name is off to war. You're one of the only names. So I'm guessing the other managers have either some retired from another. What do they say? The AAA later on.
Mhm.
So a well known, but you don't need to do anything. And he gets so he knows straight away what he's aiming for. And of course, the next one, he takes the job, and the girls are excited. Even
Oh, yeah.
was it
Betty Spaghetti.
Betty Spaghetti has got a card. She's going to try and get signed, and of course, he turns up, and
Oh,
he
he
turns up
is
drunk.
plastered.
Yeah, and he
Plastered.
go, and the first thing
Just
he
to
just
take a wee.
heads to the toilet, and then like that's it. And you just like, and I like this, like because you get in a different acting that you've not seen from Tom Hanks. He's nasty. He doesn't care, like that. And even when he comes out, he rips up the card.
Oh,
Um,
so
and
awful.
like and he just doesn't care. He's like, I'm literally who are you? And he just, he sits there. Um, and that's it. He just, I don't, I'm just, he waves his hat and he goes, sits down, and that's him for the dugout. But yeah, of course, we've got a game as well. So everybody's there. They make out straight away, they're all lining up, trying to be as professional as they can, and everybody's laughing at them.
Of
And
course.
yeah, and then you kind of get I suppose it's like the old, everybody's like, oh, social media trolls. This is a
Oh,
troll. This
this
is a
is the
troll.
original
You know,
troll. I love
yeah,
that. You're right.
yeah. And it's
Heckler,
literally, yeah.
troll. Mhm.
Yeah, and he gets up, and then I can't remember who throws the ball at him. Like, oh, it slipped out my hand,
Uh,
like that. That's
the
just like,
the beauty queen, is that
yeah,
Evelyn? Who,
yeah,
former Miss Georgia?
mm,
I think that was Evelyn.
yeah,
She does. She just rips it at him.
mm,
Whoops. Sorry, it got away
yeah,
from me. That
Yeah.
was great.
But so before this, I forgot to say, like, Dottie, she kind of what we do. She's kind of taken the lead out of the team, hasn't
Yeah,
she? So
he's
she's
drunk.
now
He can't
become,
even make the lineup.
yeah, make the line up. How hard is it? You do it then. Oh, yeah, no. So she, yeah, does it. Things so they have the game, you know, and yeah, they win the game like with hardly anybody there. And of course, the guy who we spoke to, I can't remember, I always forget his name, comes out as a go at kind of Jimmy Doug Dugan. Of yeah, it was great when you scratch your nuts for in the fourth innings or something like
For
that,
an
wasn't it?
hour.
Yeah, for an hour. That's yeah. So can you just be a little bit motivated? And it's just like yeah, he just didn't care. Like this first baseball like game, there's nobody there. They're trying to make it, a little bit more than it is, and of course they go into well, we need to promote it because nobody's in the stands. Even like Doris says, there's nobody here, so that's it. And then of course we get the I love this newsreel. It's so stupid. It's
It's great.
it's
It's
like
great.
like but like doing the makeup like whilst after like stealing base or whatever
They're
it is.
ladies, but they
Yeah,
can
and then
play
like
ball.
and then she's like, coffee. Like, I can make coffee. Great. Like it's silly. And then of course they'll go round to the other ones about like knitting and all that. But then they go and all through the team, and then Marla
Mother's
literally like farther away, like literally they're
far
just
lens, the wide angle lens
oh
for her.
yeah, and they're like just
Classic.
like just waving like that, like
It's so good.
oh, it's funny.
But these
Oh,
kinds of newsreels, they were all the thing
mm,
during the war, it was all the propaganda. It wasn't just what's going on the war front, it was also what's going on in the home front
mm,
and keeping everyone's morale going. Um, and just kind of silly, stupid little things like making tea,
yeah,
and it's kind of goes back to the role of the women back then. But it was what it was. We can't be angry today because of what it was. And, we've progressed so far because of the women back then. And that's okay. This is history. So it's all
mm,
okay. They do it very well.
yeah. So the game, of course, goes back to the end of the game. Of course, now this is going to introduce my favorite character. So I can't
Oh,
remember her name. What they call? What's she is?
which one is she? Hang on. I don't know
Mm,
why right away it went out of
yeah,
my brain.
but she's
Um,
asking. God, why she find out the name? She's
is that
asking.
Ellen? Is that Ellen
Is it Ellen?
Sue?
Yeah, yeah, maybe. But she's asking, of course, Tom Hanks' character that her husband is like again is quite clever because the mindset of, like her husband's at home and he's peed off that he has to look after the kid. So when they're playing away games, so can I bring my kid on away games? And then you get one of the best little shits, let's put him in, characters ever. This little kid
That
is
could be a horror
amazing.
film. That could be a horror film. Look at that little outfit. But I wanna go back to what she says to
Mm,
him. I think if you read between the lines, she's in a very bad marriage.
yeah, it's
She's
a
she's had a
abusive. Yeah.
very rough time. He's not employed, so, he's stayed home, and he doesn't wanna deal with the kid.
Mm,
Um, and I think even later, when at the very end, when the Stillwell character comes back, I think you kinda get a confirmation that she's probably had a very hard life, and after this is over, she's still gonna have a very hard
yeah.
life. And again, that's another little insight, and it's why, you know, the later conversation is the you
Mm,
know, there's crying for a lot of reasons.
yeah.
There's probably a lot of crying for a lot of reasons. Um, but
Oh, this
he's he
what an
it look,
adorable
beast.
little girl. Yeah, he is. Literally got chocolate literally all over him. He's causing havoc. And I literally this little kid's ability to act was superb because there's a bit
He
later.
was
I'm like,
great.
he's brilliant. And he just like they just went. I don't know even if the director went, just give him loads of sugar and
Just go
see what
crazy. Yeah.
happens. Just go like that because he goes in like this whole scene. They're going to the on the bus going to wherever. He nearly causes a crash, goes over to the bus driver.
Yeah.
He's calling it. Everybody's trying to get him to sit down. The bus pulls over after nearly crashing. Him and we call her the Wicked Witch in a minute, of their chaperone runs out. He throws dirt in the face, and he's just running around the bus still. And the only way she can stop is, do you want another chocolate
Do you
bar?
want another chocolate bar?
They're like, please just stop. But they
Mrs.
finally get
Cuthbert.
onto the bus.
Her name is
But
Mrs. Cuthbert.
that's it. And whilst this is all happening, of course, Jimmy's drunk and he's been asleep. He's missed it all.
He's
And
missed it all, and it's Lou's gone. Who's
yeah,
Lou? The
yeah,
driver.
driver. And he's like, get on. And he's like, oh, that kid. When you first get him, you're like, that is great. I just adored him. It's just like you get adored characters, but that little kid, I'm like, God, that would be so annoying. It'd be, when you see that, like, you see one of those mums who, like, please, anybody just help me for a moment. Give me that 2 minutes.
Yep. I have to struggle to not yell at kids that aren't my own, because I can't stand, because,
Like, what are you doing?
my kids were not allowed to do that,
Oh.
and why do people let their kids do that? Oh my gosh.
Oh, but adorable. But yeah, they come up with a horrible plan, is to kind of like
They're gonna
poison her.
her.
Yeah, to
Just
go
a
out.
little
Then
bit.
wherever they're going, they know there's a
The
bar
suds bucket.
nearby.
They're going to the suds
Yeah.
bucket.
So yeah, and they kind of, we're gonna poison her so they can sneak out. So she's ill, and somebody will look after her. Dottie's gonna look back, and one of the other ones, I think it's Helen, they stay back, of course, and all the rest go out partying at this bar. Yeah, it's just like, it just shows they just need it. It's just a relief, things like that. Also,
and great dancing, jitterbug. This is all the jitterbug, and this was all the rage. My grandmother was a jitterbugger, and this was all the rage.
Yeah, and it's a scene. It's a scene for Madonna to show that she can.
It is Daryl. It's a scene for Madonna. Daryl's not here, but Daryl.
No, he's not. But yeah, they get that, and then like, it's again, like any other editor, director would cut it out. So this is all going on. They're having a great time. They're all getting, a little bit too much drinking on. We don't see much of one character that we'll see in a minute. But Abigail, and then Dottie turns up in a underage taxi driver. I'm gonna guess
hilarious.
This kid, literally, so he pulls over and he's, what is it? Do you want to slip in the back?
Do you want to jump in the back seat and have your way with me?
And then she just comes back.
Well, make a man out of me. Make a man out of me.
Yeah, make a man out of me. And she's shall I smack you around like that? And he goes, why can't we do both?
Why can't we do both?
And he's like, and I'm like, what is going on? But anybody else, like, that scene is not needed, but it's memorable. It makes you laugh. It's a great little thing, because plot point, it's not needed, but for comic value, it's great. It's like
great.
that. And I yeah, it's not needed. I love that little bit. It just it does make me a little bit inside.
Oh, they had to get a car in. You got to get that 1940s classic car in there. But
I guess it's like, the kid like learned they're out in the middle of nowhere. He's blatantly not legal driving age. Look at him, so I'm guessing somebody went, well, you can, if you want to be a taxi driver and earn a little bit of money on the side for, whilst the old man's away, do it. People just, okay, he's taking the drunks home. That's it.
Somebody exactly running from the bar to the boarding house. That's exactly what he's probably doing. Making a lot of money too, I'm sure.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Dottie gets into the bar to tell him, look, it's time to go home. Where's Marla?
Counting everybody. Well, is someone missing?
Yeah, we put her in a dress, and then she's,
what did you do to her? We put her in a dress.
And then she's
and we meet Nelson.
Who's
what is it? Besotted, smitten.
Yes.
Oh my God, he's mesmerized by Marla.
And he's like, oh, no, don't worry. I I'll take her home. And it's like that. And then like, and I think it's even Dottie's like, if somebody's interested in you, that's okay. It's she probably doesn't get much male affection. Yeah.
Attention. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cute, it's nice, it's literally
It's so sweet. It is
yeah.
so sweet, and I'll tell you what, I mean, what a goofy scene, and when she's singing, it's one of those scenes where so sometimes you run a gag and you keep going and it's bad, right?
Mm.
And here they keep it going. They keep her singing and it's kind of funnier the more and more she sings. It's funnier. But you feel good for her. You're like, "You go, Marla. You go, Nelson. You have a good old time." That's all good. That's all good. Well, and then part of being a lady in the, you know, most of the major cities in the United States, you're ethnically Irish, German, and Italians. They're good Catholic girls. So after a night out, they have to go to confession. They
Yeah.
have to tell of all
The
their sins. They have to go to church and they have to tell of all their sins. And so
Yeah,
May's
it's
in the
quite funny. I
confessional
couldn't get a good shot of this one, but yeah,
and she's
is that the
definitely
second time he's dropped his book, his Bible? It's
overwhelmed
like,
overwhelmed the priest with the sins that she's confessing for sure. And he steps out of the confessional and he's sweating, he's panting. He's probably never heard of the things that she has confessed, and she's probably got quite a few rosaries to say after that night. But
but
hey,
also she kind of enjoyed making him blush.
absolutely, absolutely.
Mm,
She's been around
but
the block a few times.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, so we get that. It's a little bit funny. So we get our next game. Um, everything's going kind of going, things. Jimmy's still in the dug. Everybody's playing, um, and then of course, who's in charge? Dottie. Dottie gives out the signals. I'm guessing they have a secret signal for each team, so they can't recognize
Correct,
the other team. Yeah,
correct.
so they do that. What
And the
you know?
signals change so that,
Yeah,
like, if you're touching your shoulder and that means stay, then the next game, touching your shoulder doesn't mean stay. Touching your
mm,
shoulder means run or, what have you. So
yeah.
every team, you know, would do this. Um, and, I love this. This is an argument. This is a
Mm,
form of an argument carried out through baseball signals. How cool is that? Runner
yeah.
signals. So it's
Oh,
pretty cool. There's
yeah.
our friend Daryl.
Sorry, Daryl. Here you go, just for you. I'll go back a picture. There
There's
she
your
is. There she
there's
is,
your all the way
Madonna.
May, Daryl. There's your all the way May.
But yeah, I do like this because yeah, international. I don't know what they're signaling, of course, it's secrets. But yeah, it's just he comes up with what you don't do that, and then he gets Marla in the best batter. Time back, time ready back, and she's
Yeah,
like
she's
getting
like,
really confused. And then they'll all go back, and then of course, finally Jimmy gets his way, of by saying, "Who runs this team?" And then she's like, "Well, then do it," And it's
yep,
like that moment. So he finally, yeah, kind of steps up to the plate, I suppose you want to call it, in Fraser's terms, and he's yeah, they win the thing because the best hitter, you don't do that. So there we go, my baby. uh but yeah, it's good. But yeah, he finally wants to kind of do something with the team, and it was only because he just realized, come up from his little sleep or a little nap or the
mhm,
paper to kind of take 2 minutes to go, no, that's not what you do. um so that's it. And then of course we get back after their win. Again, it's just a very good, nice little scene. Is all the way May is teaching how to read.
teaching
Um,
Shirley how to read, but using a very, saucy book,
yeah.
to teach her, and, she gets through a few of the more, intimate words, and she goes, "No, go on, keep going, the next page, it gets even better."
I love that because she's like really like thinking she's like, breasts, and then she realizes what the book is about, and then she's like, oh, no, keep going, keep going.
Keep
It's
going,
like
it
that. And
gets
the rest of like,
better.
why are you teaching it? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
We're
matter.
getting it doesn't matter. She's reading, and I think
Yeah.
that it's quite good. And then it's
But
again, it's just
awesome
a little simple
teamwork.
thing. But yeah, then you
Yeah.
have like again, it's in this one scenes. It's quite dark, this one, so I didn't do much screenshots. But then you have they talk to Rosie O'Donnell's uh, Doris, who's who kind of what's your man like, and then like she shows a picture, and then like
He's angry, he's
yeah
grumpy all the time, he doesn't work, and he treats me poorly. But
yeah
he's all I got.
yeah, and that's it. Just like, well, that's all I can. She's kind of downtrodden. Is all I can get, and then she just like I think she has a realization as it goes. I shouldn't be treated that way. Rips up out the
Rips it
window.
up, tosses it out the
Yeah,
window.
bye
Love it.
now. That's it. Yeah,
Love it.
and yeah. So we go back to another game, of course, and um, what's this is the bit where I forgot her name again.
I think it's actually Evelyn. I think it's
Evelyn.
Evelyn.
Is it Evelyn? Yeah. So yeah. So why would you like she froze, doesn't she? The wrong froze
She
home when she
doesn't
was
hit
froze.
the
Yeah.
cutoff man. So when you're throwing from the outfield, even if you can make the throw all the way, you got to hit the cutoff man because the cutoff man makes the decision. And it's because she threw it all the way, it allowed the tying runner to advance to second base. If she would have hit the cutoff, the run would have scored, but the hitter would have been stopped at first base. That's a
Mm.
kind of a fundamental thing to learn when you're a kid is sometimes it's okay to let a run score and not allow the next runner to advance even further. And that's what she made that mistake. And she's a wee bit emotional
Mhm. You
and she
don't
starts
cry in
crying.
baseball.
Are
You
you
don't
crying?
cry.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball. Iconic. It's the
uh,
quote of the film. The quote
yeah.
of the film is
And
there's
then of
no
course the
crying in baseball.
umpire kind of goes over to look.
Oh my God,
You've
this is so
got to talk
funny.
to you've got to talk to these like you would talk to your mum or your
Yeah.
sister or something. And then his thing is, does anybody told you look like a small penis with a hat on?
With a hat on.
Like what? Like okay. Oh, I was just like okay. And then he gets kicked out of the game. They all clap and cheer whilst he gets removed. On that, and of course, whilst this after this, we kind of get the game a bit subdued. There's nobody there again,
Yeah,
and
we
of
get the
course they
news
get
that
the
they
rip.
are
Yeah,
in trouble.
yeah. So we get told, the was it Time magazine, isn't it? I think he
Yep.
references. Yep, it's
Time
time.
Magazine is here. We need to get the publicity,
Yeah,
and they need to
they're
do a
gonna.
story on you, Dottie.
Yeah, Duddy. Yeah. Uh, so they're off that, and then of course, they instantly one of the things is because she let her sister be there as well, but that is where they have the realization if this goes south, they've all got to go back to what they're doing. This is where
Yep.
we have May's character like, no, I can't do it. I can't. This is my way out, and just to be, it's gone because the nobody's interested at the moment. So whilst the game's still going on, Dottie comes up with a plan, and lucky enough, there's a foul ball. And she does the splits to do the things in front
Yep.
of the camera. I'm guessing that would really hurt in that skirt as well. Like that.
Quite. It would
Yeah.
hurt anywhere, but yeah, so they're gonna ham it up. They're
Yeah.
gonna ham it up. And so you get her doing the splits, you get the banner in the
Mm,
outfield that says, "Catch a foul ball, win a kiss." And
mm.
so whoever catches the foul ball gets a kiss. And, everybody's, Rosie O'Donnell, the Doris character, she flips herself into the stands and comes back with the hot dog in her mouth. They're all hamming it up now to try to
Yeah.
make it a little more entertaining to try to keep the game going as long as they can.
Mm. And of course, we get all this, and they're all back and forth, and then we get a moment like after they're getting now admirers and all that. Now I'm gonna play this. This is what is correct in a certain way because they kind of skip over it. What the modern TV show that got cancelled did completely wrong and made
Yep.
everybody who has
100%
common
wrong.
sense was acting like people were dumb, is where
Yep.
they just have a quick scene
Yep. Love
of
it that they
this.
did a quick scene, a little wink between the 2 women,
Hmm.
acknowledging both of us are overcoming something right at this moment.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
you
yep.
don't need to. It's a baseball movie. It's not an equality. It's not a civil rights movie. So they they understand it, they knew it, and they just went, we just need to put it in at the moment like that because
Yep.
that's not the movie. And even that, they completely disregarded that statement. If you've anybody, I would say not to waste your time with the TV series because
No. Yeah,
they
I'm not
mix
even.
it. It's mixed, and it's just like you're. It's one of the that you're again. It's Hollywood or whoever made it. Well, Hollywood funded, guaranteed, erasing history and trying to
Yep.
make it all daisies and whistles and all that, and everything was perfectly fine, and everybody overcome what they did by themselves. Unfortunately, not.
And
And
of
I think
course,
I
the
think it's a good
problem
little
with
nod.
doing that is a disservice to all
Yeah.
the women who had to struggle,
Mm,
to women everywhere, to African American women who had to struggle even more. When you erase the history and you try to correct it, you're doing the struggle a disservice. And
yeah.
that's my huge problem with this. But, as you could see, they're in a different section. There may have been segregation in the stadium. I think there
Mm,
probably would have been segregation in the stadium. There certainly were those challenges all the way through the 1950s, the 1960s, even the early 1970s. So to depict it like this, African American women separate from the crowd, picking up a ball, throwing a ball, giving each other a little look of respect. Perfect. I absolutely love how they did this
mm.
because this could very well have been historically accurate, whereas some other portrayals could not have possibly been historically accurate.
No. So yeah. So they do that. Like I think it's just subtly done. I just think they didn't
Yep.
need to go onto it. So of course the game ends, and then we get our little marriage. It goes on to
Carla and Nelson.
Nelson's being thing. So Nelson,
Yay.
well, they finally get married. After things, love at first sight or whatever it is. But she won't be back till next season. What I always think is a bit weird. I think, okay, get your honeymoon, but you could come back. I
Well, they
guess.
may have been at the end of the
Yeah.
like, they may have been closer to the end of the season
Mm,
anyway,
maybe.
so yeah,
So yeah, so we live it, but it's a nice one. Everybody's happy, and you just go, you feel a little bit warm inside
you
because
do.
look at little face. It's just like that.
Just
So yeah,
happy.
yeah. So she's happy, and it all goes. She's off. She's off, and that's it. But then yeah, we get back to just more of the game. And I brought this picture up because this is in the next game. We
Yes.
have the injury, we have the rubs and all that, but this is where she gets. I'm guessing, is this still a thing that can happen? Charging the
Oh,
catcher?
yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
whether you're the catcher or the runner, and that's where I had a couple of my clunks in the head, was being the runner and the catcher can make your life miserable. If you're the runner, you're not gonna stop. You
Mm,
have to keep running, but the catcher can square up their body and just block you. You've it's a train on a train, it's collision
yeah.
ready to happen. And thankfully kids wear helmets now because that's where I got some of my, knocks in the head was running and having a catcher hold her ground. And you've got, sliding doesn't help sometimes, diving doesn't help sometimes. You're just going to plow over her. And the catcher's job is to hold on to that ball. And the catcher being the one that's, the immovable object with the unstoppable
Mm,
force coming at you. So it's not a good thing for either player
mm,
to be charging home for sure.
yeah.
But she
But
she did what she had to do. All she had to
yeah,
do was hold on to that ball. And that's what she
yeah,
did.
and
She
she
did it.
does, and she does
She
it
does.
well. And then I think on this one, you got like the scenes. There's more people in the crowd. They're getting fireworks at night games now. They're getting a little bit of a fan base. They're people are realizing, it's we can watch this and not just take the piss. These are can actually play. Let's say that. Yeah, and it's just a thing, going through their little season within a couple of clips of like Jimmy and also Dottie kind of coming together. And what is it with chewing tobacco and baseball?
It is the grossest thing in the
I know.
world.
Like they just have like the whole thing. She's just like yeah, it's like, and then even when he goes, what is it? Because he goes, oh, have this because, and she looks down, and he goes, real players have this, like that. So she, and then the next thing that sounded good, like in the spittoon or something. You're like, oh, yeah, I've never got chewing tobacco.
Nope.
It's just, yeah, but why? That's a real, like, you get it like in a lot of older,
Here's why.
represented. Yeah.
Because you can't smoke, obviously, when you're playing a
Mm.
sport, and baseball takes forever. And they don't take a break for lunch like they do in cricket. You just keep playing. And the players, they can't eat or anything. So I guess I grew up in the era of, obviously bubble gum and sunflower seeds. They make these huge 5-gallon buckets, like the Home Depot bucket, David's sunflower seeds. In every little league game, you got the big bucket of sunflower seeds, and you just chew on sunflower seeds.
Oh.
By the way, shell and all. You chew on the seeds, you spit out the shells.
Mm.
And that's just something to keep you going during the game because you can't, you're not going to eat. But some of these games are really long. So, chewing tobacco was, and they were, again, many Midwest folks, they chewed on the farm.
Sorry, carry on going. I have a fly that is stuck behind one of my lighting. I'm going to back because it's flickering and like
Go
that. And
get it.
to the light. I'm going to get it. Carry on about chewing tobacco.
Go get the fly. Oh yeah, let me carry on about anything but chewing tobacco at this point in time. So it's as you mentioned, like the Gina Davis character and the Dottie and Duggan, they're kind of starting to understand and appreciate each other. Duggan is really, starting to want to win, and the team's getting good. And oh, by the way, he's noticed in his contract that if the team gets to the World Series, he gets a big bonus. So now, the combination of him starting to warm up to some of the players and starting to take some ownership, but he also realizes there's something in it for him if the team gets to the World Series. So there's the added incentive there for the team to be good. But there's still concerns about the future of
Done.
the league. There you go. How was it? Is he okay or is he dead?
It's dead. It's
He's
dead.
dead. He's dead.
It's dead. It's dead. Unfortunately, the only way it was caught, and its body got caught in between. Like there's a mechanism,
Oh
like a
my.
metal probe, and I don't know how it got there. He got his wing. So when I pulled it out, his wing came off, and I think that was
Oh Lordy. Oh, well,
yeah.
okay. Well, mercy killing
Yeah.
them. Mercy
So
killing them.
bye fly. That was it. So
Yeah.
one of them, there's only a little one, but it was just like it must have got his wing caught and that was fluttering it. And I was like, what was it? And so that was really doing my eye in. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. So he gets on, and I like this because they've got, like you're saying, like him and Dottie have got this kind of, I suppose, relationship. He respects her. There's
Mutual
no
respect. Yeah.
and I like it because like they could have, if you go by modern how crap goes at the moment, they would have made a love thing about it.
Of
They would have
course
made
they
that
would have.
he would have flung himself towards her. She's the married, they would have made that, but they don't. All that they do, and it's very, again, what I think is clever. She gives him a Coke.
Instead of she takes the booze and gives him a Coke.
Yeah,
and
he's like,
okay.
oh, yeah, and it's just very look, you've got to clean up, like that, and he slowly does, but he's like lovely, and it's again subtly done, but clever because we know he's an arse, and this is where probably this is the point just before it. You kind of start warming to him. You start loving this character. He's an arse, and then he's still, he's still in it for himself. But you still you start to, the Jimmy character, and I think how Tom Hanks plays it, I think is really well. But the Jimmy character, you start to feel. you
You
feel
do.
for, and he gets like a lot more, probably screen time because he's Tom Hanks than some of the other characters. But you don't need that, and I think it's just, again, it's just well done. It's one of those, they could have he could have been an arse all the way through the movie, but how they do it, and that little like, they don't, there's no redemption. It's just, we're gonna change of who you used to be
Mhm.
before the knee injury, before you got into, alcoholism. And I think it's again, it's just, here's a Coke. We don't need
It's
to
very
explain it.
well done.
Yeah.
It's very well done.
Mm, mm. So yeah, and then after that, of course, we get
Ugh.
more matches, and yeah,
We get the meltdown.
so we get that. Now, I've spoken to you previously. How does, you have modern game? What, you have 3 pictures, and then you have one that is a relief picture that So
Each team
explain
has a
it.
different.
Explain it. Yeah, explain it to, because I'm a
Yeah.
dumb non-baseball
No,
fan.
it's just it's different. So each team has there's a number of players, right? At 25, 26, whatever it is. And each team chooses whether they want, you know, 5 starters, 6 starters, couple of relievers, a couple of short relievers. You can have pitchers who specialize in different things. As a team, you don't have a set number of each. You decide, like the owner decides how they want to balance their pitching staff. Um, you've got some pitchers who, will pitch the entire game. It is so rare these days for
Mm,
someone to pitch a complete game that it's actually a stat that they count, like complete games. But usually a pitcher will go, unless they're pitching a shutout or,
yeah.
heaven forbid, a no hitter, they're probably going to go about 6 innings, and then a reliever is going to come in and finish the game. Um, in in days gone by, there were fewer and more people finished the actual game. You
Mm,
would just pitch the entire game, and you might come back the next day and pitch the next day for the entire game. But today, just because of, oh my God, all the mechanics of pitching, which totally destroy your shoulder and your elbow and your arm, the speeds, and just the length of the game. And the problem being, as a pitcher, of course, you're doing hard work for about 10 minutes, and then you're sitting for 10, 15, 20 minutes.
yeah.
Then you're doing hard. It's not good. So you'll see pitchers when they come off the field, they might wrap their arm immediately and then unwrap and come
Mm,
back out. Keep, trying to keep their arm warm as possible, because it's hard,
yeah. It's
brutal
not.
work. And then you stop, and then you sit, and then when you come back, you're all stiff. So um, usually, most games, you'll see 3 pitchers in a game. You'll see a starter, you'll see a middle reliever, and then you'll see a closer come in, just maybe even for the last inning, maybe for the last batter. You'll have your freshest pitcher come for that last batter to make sure you close the game and that you win, and, the other team doesn't come back.
Mm.
So that's pitching by Sandy. I could be completely wrong. I'm not an expert, but I do love baseball. Go Orioles.
Yeah, I don't know how they lost 24-2 or whatever
Oh,
it
don't
was. I'm
even
not sure.
start with me. There again, pitching. There you go. That's
No,
how
yeah.
you the game is not won or lost by hitting. It is won or lost by pitching. It's just like in other sports, they
Mm,
say defense wins games. In baseball, pitching is so much more important than hitting. It's crazy.
mm. Yeah, so she's not throwing that well. Jimmy
Ugh.
comes to the
Yep.
mound, and of course tells you, I think you're done. And then
You're
he asks
done.
Geena, and then of course, sorry, Dottie, is she done?
Doesn't
Tell me.
stick up for her.
And yeah,
Yeah.
no. First of all, she does. She's like, doesn't want to say the truth. It's her sister. It's like, well, and then she goes, tell me the truth. And she does it for the team, and she's right to. She's like, oh yeah, she's like throwing like cupcakes at me. And then just like Kit's reaction, it just shows, oh, you've not matured at all. You're still this,
Oh
like
my
little
God.
brat. It's really annoying.
Yes.
One, you should do it for the team, and it really
Yep.
annoys me because I was, been really into my sports, and just have that, those people. And I think everybody knows that person. You're like, just get out the way. You're not
Yep.
having a great day. It's a, yeah, it's a that.
And the
So
reasons why pitchers don't want to come off is because if they're losing, they'll get a loss.
Yeah.
if the game is lost. But if they're losing and they stay in, they still think they have a chance to turn it around.
Mm.
Because once you're out, even if they come back and win, you won't get the win.
Ah.
You'll get nothing on your record. Your record will essentially show nothing for that game. So if you come out and the team is losing, and then the closer
That's too
comes
bad.
in,
You shouldn't look at your
they get the
records. It's
win.
all for the team, is it? So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But
Mm.
often they do. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Very childish on her, very immature, total meltdown on her part.
Mm. And of course, who's there in the stands as well?
Mr. Harvey.
Who tells we don't need them anymore. The
No.
boys, we're winning the
The war's
war.
going
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. So next season, this is it. It's one and done. Uh, it's a bit. We've just gone through this ride. This is what over 3/4 of the movie, and you're like, oh, they're not going to have another go. So it's like you invested into it. Of course, the organizer of the league is like, but
Ira. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Ira's like,
the team,
"No,
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
run the league. Let me run
yeah,
the league. I'll take it
yeah.
over." Aw.
Yeah, and
Uh,
then of course, yeah, Untunneled, like all of them are like getting the limelight, and we can see this, they're all happy go, except for Kit, who
She's
throws,
hyperventilating. She's
yeah,
hyperventilating.
mm. And I remember Doris, she gives a bit of a a teammate a comment. Couldn't you finish the game yourself? Doesn't she? And then she just throws her glove at her, and then she throws water, and it comes into this little a stupid little wrestling
Oh,
quick
yeah.
match, and then of course Jimmy grabs Kit, slaps him into the shower, like grow up, and he's right, yeah, grow
He's
up. It's
right.
like yeah, we won the game, grow up. That's it. So then, of course, I forgot his name again. Comes into the with
Ira.
Dottie, Ira with Dottie, and tells him, well, the league's finished. Like we've got to up it. And then she's like, "But I'm done. I just want to go. I just can't take my sister. Really." She's saying,
Mhm.
I just got to leave." And then, well, trade me then. Do anything. Just trade me out of here, so there's not this conflict. I just can't deal with it. Uh, and of course, they all go back to their dorm room. I'm kind of like
Boarding house. Yeah,
outhouse,
boarding
boarding
house.
house, whatever it's going to be called.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then of course,
They
um,
traded her.
yeah, Kit comes in, angry as anything, and confronts Dottie. Dottie doesn't know what they're talking about, and then she realizes they traded you, not me. So I asked to be traded. So again, she's now been traded to the bells. What they called? Is it called
Racing. The
racing
Racing
bells?
Bells. Mhm.
Bells. That's it. So she's now off to them. And that's it. Like they have literally, a slight back and forth, but Kit doesn't want to listen to it. She's just gone absolutely uh, angry as anything. And then we get back into the changing room, and
And she's
they're
finished her
doing,
song. Evelyn's finished
yeah.
her little song.
She's having. Oh, I know, like this bit because we're having the song, but it's the kid again. He's literally.
Mhm.
I love this. So he's there. They're getting dressed or undressed, of course. They're like that, and see some legs. Ooh, the kid in this. I love this. It's great, and of course, Jimmy comes in. Everything's lovely, light-hearted. We're having a bit of laughs. Stillwell has got into the tape.
Ah, that tape. Don't you touch that tape.
Don't change that tape like that, and then did
Uh,
okay. We have a moment, but we'll have to address one thing: the worst acting in this entire bit is from the
yeah.
Western
Western
Union
Union guy.
comes through the door unannounced with a telegram. This acting is terrible. I get it what they were trying to think, but the actor just didn't pull it off. I think
Yeah.
chucking him out the door was the best thing. So he's there to deliver. I have a letter from the War Office, and everything goes quiet, or the War Department. And then he bumbles into, oh, I hate one of these ones. These are the worst. They should send somebody personally
To
when
tell you
to
that your
tell you that's
husband's
your
dead.
husband's dead.
Ugh,
And I'm like, what? I don't like that's the line of that. I'm like, would you be that much of an idiot and
no.
say that in front of a group of women, or even if it was one or two, to say that they're all gonna have, if they're not married, they're gonna have fathers, like brothers or whatever out there. I just don't like the line delivery. I think it's bad
No.
acting and that line delivery. But then we get real emotional. So Jimmy, give me it. No, he's arguing that he's got to go back to the wherever to find the name. He rips the telegram out of his hands and
Yeah.
chucks him out. And then we remember, because it's been nice, we remember we're at war.
Yep.
And that's it. And then of course the all the women have all gone silent. Where's he walking to? He's got the telegram. He's opened it up, and he's slowly, he's slowly walking past. Everybody's nervous. Everybody doesn't want to make
Make
eye
eye
contact
contact.
contact
Yeah.
with Jimmy. Jimmy's just slowly going, and every you see the relief and
Mhm.
the emotion, and it's great from the actors, is when he walks past one of them and it's not them.
Yeah.
One of them runs out like so emotional she can't, just got to get out. The relief and the despair, it's somebody I've now drawn to love. So they get there, and the camera slowly goes towards, of course, Dottie and Betty Spaghetti, and he hangs hands it hands it over to Betty Spaghetti. It's that bit, except for the Western delivery guy, gets me every time. It gets
It's
me
a good
every time.
scene.
It's great because
Yeah.
it gives it back to look at who was left behind. Yep, we have whatever was going um on the war overseas. Yep, served, so 100% respect. But the women, this shit, absolutely, like this
Yep.
emotion. And this actually, there's been other times, periods, that this was how you've got found out, and it happened in the Vietnam War.
Absolutely.
You got a telegram, and it was only
Yep.
till like the people were complaining, no, let's go to your local padre, your father, and
Yep.
literally, if there's things, get them to deliver it. The sheriff of the area, not some boy or old man with a Western Union kind of delivery. No, it's just, yeah. But I think it always gets me. Like
It
every bit's
does.
this
It
always.
does. The music, the way the
Mm,
camera's panning around, you're getting his point of view where he's looking at each girl. I like this also because this is Jimmy's redemption arc
mm,
continuing because he takes charge and he does the right thing, grabbing the telegram from the
mm,
guy, taking it on himself, reading it, and being able to deliver the message himself. It's a horrible thing to do, but it's the right thing to do. And
mm,
he made the right choice here. Um, Also, I do tend to think the char characterization of the Western Union guy, that was not typical.
mm.
That's not
No.
historically accurate either. These men, often boys, they knew what they were doing, and they took I can't speak for everyone, but I'm sure they took the greatest care.
Yeah.
But I think this scene was to really showcase Jimmy growing up and doing the right thing, in the how he delivered this absolutely terrible news, and then, of course, you see the reaction of all the other girls too, relieved themselves, but absolutely brokenhearted for Betty.
Mm. And then unfortunately after that, it's she gets the their oh, what did you call it? What they call the Wicked Witch of the West at one point.
Mrs.
What's her name?
Cuthbert,
Yeah.
Mrs. Cuthbert.
She gets her away, and of course,
Yeah,
there's one thing Jimmy has to own up. We've still got a game to play.
still got a game to play.
And that's it. So like, we don't see the game. We get back and we get to see Dottie back into their boarding house, um, crying on the bed. And
Just
I'm
losing
guessing
it. Yeah, just letting all
100%.
the
And yeah,
emotion out. Mhm.
this would have happened. And of course, she just gets a nice little knock on the door. a bit of consequential. Okay, but for story, we can do it. So come
Yeah,
in.
little this
Who's
I do
there?
think this is a
Yeah,
little the timing here is a little on the
yeah.
nose,
It's
but
yeah.
yeah, well.
And so Bob, her husband's back, um, and I think he's had his toe shut off. That's it. And it's yeah. Oh, that's it. They embrace, and yeah, it's things. And he has a quick one. Was it? How did he get back? I've been discharged. Got in, toes. Lucky enough, it was a sniper. Got 7 of them before me. And I'm
Ugh,
like, you just really played that really bad. Like, there's got to be a bit of more emotion there. You just got
yeah.
7, yeah. And okay, I can take this just because it gets into the next scenes. I don't get why it was straight after that one really emotional
Yeah,
scene
I don't
because it
either. I don't like the timing of this scene at
no.
all.
So, but
In
it's
fact,
but
I
I'm
thought
picking, but I'm picking. I
yeah,
am picking.
I probably thought the first time I
Mm.
saw this film, I probably thought it was a dream sequence for a minute,
Yeah,
just
maybe.
because
Yeah.
of the timing, you know?
Mm. Yeah.
But you're right,
So
I'm being picky too because
yeah.
overall, you can't fault much in this film.
Because Dottie's husband is yeah, like would you have necessarily need to have seen him, or he was in a hospital and she needed to go and see him? Maybe that would have met you wouldn't even need to have the
Yeah.
character. He's back at
Yep.
the somewhere and she needs to leave. That's it. And then of course it would have been better get there and he's like, No, go back."
Well, she finally gets
You
the
know.
letter
Yeah.
because she said
Yeah.
it'd been 3 weeks since she'd
Mm,
gotten, a letter from him, and now we know why, he was probably in a
yeah.
hospital.
Mm. So yeah, so we get that, and I'm now going to end the my poll because we get that they're going to the bus thing, and of course Jimmy gets approached by 2 young boys, and what does he write, Sandy? Let's see if we all got it right.
Jimmy Duggan, avoid the clap.
I love it. So 50% is right. It wasn't bunt like nobody's watching was 33%. It was avoid the clap with 50%. And then yeah, tell the umpire to screw himself 17%. The other one nobody got. Yeah. So yeah, avoid the clap. It's like great. And I love that because it's just like, yeah, that's his
Great
character.
advice.
He probably would do that. Yeah. And it's they run off. Oh my god, I gotta see like and he's like, yeah, that's great advice. I was shouting off. Now this I I get it, and I don't like this bit. It's because I think it hurts Dottie's character a little bit. It's because she is now the the team is off.
Uh-huh.
They're all marching to the bus, and she's off the things. But she hasn't told her manager. He has to go and approach her. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So she has a time to say, "Look, I'm done. I'm going back with Bob." I'm like that, and yeah. Again, it's just a bit of a mismatch. It's just
Because she's been
what
such a team
yeah,
player and a leader since,
yes,
until this point.
mm,
Absolutely.
yeah. So this bit I just don't like, and there's another bit, kind of same example. It's just like you're trying to be like you've been the leader.
Mhm.
All the girls respect you. You've taken the first how many other games as our manager, and then the man comes back, they probably understand it, but you just jump ship. And also, it's what they've got 6 games. Like, how many other 6 games left? I think,
World
like,
Series is
yeah.
coming. Yeah.
So you're telling me the guy who's injured who can't do anything is going to be like, let's get home, screw this lot, because Bob comes in and he seems a decent guy.
He seems
He
like a
doesn't,
good
yeah,
guy. Yep.
yeah. So he doesn't look like he's going to be like, sod, your girls don't play baseball, off we go. If it was that, you could, that they went through that element arc of the story, I could understand this whole scene, but it's not the character we see. And so this I just yeah, again picking, but I didn't like it.
I wonder if it's just a
Mm,
little bit again of that,
mm,
she kinda got here just because of Kit, and now Kit's not
mm.
on the team anymore, and now Bob's home, and maybe those are
Yeah.
the reasons, to move
Yeah,
along,
but
but I agree.
you still tell your manager. You still be like that. You don't leave to him. Oh,
Exactly.
she's looks like she's sneaking off.
Yeah.
He's there because he's shouting at them all. Get on the bus, get on the bus. You need batting practice, and all that. And it's just it's just a bit. It looks like she's always sneaking out. And if you're going to sneak out at 5 o'clock in the morning. would
Yeah,
have been better.
seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's the timing, everything was, it just wasn't, for me. But yeah, we get to of course, the World Series. We've had
He says his little prayer.
yeah, as his little prayer. So we've had this is this is the last game of the series. So how many games are in the series of the World Series?
If it's like men's baseball, then you have to win it's the best of 7, so you have to win
There you go.
4. So it can be over in 4 or it
Mhm.
can be over in 7,
Yeah.
but you have to win 4 of 7.
Yeah. So in this, we kind of get a commentator. I haven't really shown him because he thinks, but they do
Oh,
announce
and by the way, the
this.
commentator, I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
The commentator, for those in the United States who know the old 70s show Laverne and Shirley. So Penny Marshall was Laverne in Laverne and Shirley. The commentator was Squiggy of Lenny and Squiggy. Stasis, I don't know if those words mean anything to
never.
you. You don't know what a Squiggy is.
It was foreign. That's all I know.
So Lenny is Michael McKean of Spinal Tap fame and all of the Christopher Guest
Okay.
mockumentaries. Michael McKean, I think he's brilliant. And David Landor is Squiggy. And so this commentator that you've been seeing in a few of the games here and there, he must be the local Rockford commentator, is Squiggy. So yeah, that's a Squiggy. That's what a Squiggy is, everyone.
Okay. There you
And
go.
go look up Laverne and Shirley. It was one of those typical, probably like one of the most rerun shows when I was a kid. That Happy Days, Get Smart, those kinds of, well, Get Smart was more in the 60s, but Laverne and Shirley was huge, absolutely huge. 2 Midwestern girls in Milwaukee, working for a living.
Oh yes, I think
They worked in the beer factory.
yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
And they were kinda independent for the for that time, and I think it was, while the show was in the 70s, it was really depicting the 50s,
Mm.
right? So it was depicting kinda, again, women working. That was different. That was an interesting thing. Women who were single, not just married off when they graduated high school, but they went out and did their own thing, and their neighbors were Lenny and Squiggy. So, yes,
There
that's
you
a
go.
Squiggy. Sorry for the interruption for
No,
Squiggy
that's all right.
time.
But so in this, we do get the announcer say this is where it's going to win. One has to win. One has that. So
Yep.
I'm guessing it's
So it
kind
must
of
be
like
the 7th, game 7,
the
must be
seventh game.
3-3.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm guessing it's like ice hockey, 2 games here, 2 games there. They don't do back and forth, back and forth.
Yes.
Like they do.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah. So
That's
this is actually at the Racine Bells. This is where they've got. So yeah. So they get there, and of course, it's the first shot we get of course, Kit in her new uniform, as a Racine. So we get the national anthem, nicely played out, and of course, again, I just love it. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. So,
And by the way, here's when you know that this is the final game of the
yeah.
series, Kit must be doing very well, because you wouldn't be pitching you would put your best players in the final game.
Yeah.
So she must be doing well, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So we get the little kid, of course, things, and then we get Jimmy goes over to the new what's the Miss Georgia, I can't remember character, but she's the pitcher, and then I can't remember what he says about the catcher, but he tell me if she's out, and who stands up? Geena Davis.
Ellen Sue. I'm sorry, I had to
That's
go
it,
back. I had to look her up.
Sue.
Ellen
Yeah.
Sue. Mhm.
So yeah, and then of course she's like, "I'm here," and I love that. Well, who said you could play? Well, if you don't want me to play, I won't play. But he knows you're my best player.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
my
for
best player. And he's like, well, you're already dressed, like, so I do like that little moment
That's
of like,
great.
it's, yeah, go on, then you can play. And again, all we can hear in the background whilst this things is like, you're
You're
gonna
gonna
lose,
lose,
lose.
you're gonna
And then
lose.
he comes out after she and he walks off really happy. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. And he looks over. We're gonna lose. And I think this is brilliant. And
I
he just
suit
looks
so
down
well.
and he just grabs a mitt and then boom. like that.
It's great.
And
It's great.
I think the kid didn't know this was going to happen because his acting is so real, and he hits him. He
He
hits
does.
the
I
kid. So
know. I
I'm just like,
know.
every time I like, it makes me laugh because I'm like, that kid literally gets that kid really gets hit, and then I'm guessing they cut it differently. Is Tom Hanks, you've got to just laugh at what you've just done. And he's so proud of it. I got him. I got that little kid. And it's like that. I think it's brilliant. So, but yeah, but again, that's an iconic line. That kid just going, "You're
You're
gonna
gonna
lose.
get it.
You're
Get
gonna
it. I
lose."
know.
It's just like, it's brilliant. Oh, I love that kid in this movie. It just gives me joy. So yeah, we get onto the game, I suppose, like that. And we get calls. Kit's going for it. They're all going for it. Everybody's cheering on. We're all getting a kind of clip through motion. We don't get calls time inning by inning, but we do get the scoreboards come up now and again. So it's not a lot of spin happening. It looks like
No,
since the end.
it's a no hitter on both sides, as they say.
Yeah.
Um, but also, so I always appreciate films that take a little extra effort. Now,
Mm.
because when we went to the Suds bucket and we've gone other places, most of the outdoor shots have been fields, right? Ball
Mhm.
fields or open fields. We haven't been in like a real city, so there hasn't been that like, oh, we're in Chicago, or oh, we're in this city, or we're in that
Yeah,
city.
yeah.
So there haven't been a lot of things like advertising, but I do appreciate when they do. I love this sign. I love this sign. Look, it's a rubber tin and paper scrap drive, which is what in World War II, and you all would have had it in the UK as well. You take all your scrap metal, all your scrap rubber and paper, and you donate it because it's all going to build ships and it's all going for the war effort. And I noticed that when I watched it this time, which I had never, who looks at the
Mm.
advertisements, but I did. And I was like, oh, that is so awesome because and these little sayings here, these individual little sayings were on buttons and signs, you know, uh, make and do or do without, those, I love that stuff from that era. So anyway,
Mm.
kudos to the design team because even though we don't have a lot of advertising or cityscapes or real life world, I like this little touch here.
Yeah. So yeah, we get that. So they're all going on, and it plays things. It's all to the last moment. If anybody spoilers, but it's kind of just gear on. Of course, we get to the point where um, they get a run, I suppose, like a home
Hmm.
run, and then of course we get to the next bit. But then again, she cocks up
He
and
comes
gets
at it at a different way
and it.
though.
Yeah, but it
He's
looks like he's
trying to
gonna have a stroke.
smile.
He's gonna
He's
have it like.
forcing the friendly
Oh,
suggestion. Hit
yeah.
the cutoff,
Yeah,
man. You've
we need no,
got
we
it.
need to train on it in before next season, isn't it? It's just
We
like,
need to work. This is something we need to work on before
and
next season.
she's like,
Okay.
thank you, yeah, like
Thank
thank
you.
you. That's it. But yeah, so Kit has made like is still going. It's
And
all
she's pitched the whole game. She's
yeah,
worn out, but that's
yeah,
normal. It's not, oh, there's
mm,
Kit's not good. She's
yeah,
pitched 9 innings,
mm,
8 innings.
yeah. I like this bit because like she's against it. She's absolutely tired, and then of course, who steps up? Dottie. And I like
Mhm.
this because the picture is trying to motivate Kit and then looks and it's like, oh no, not
No,
her.
not
It's like the
her.
one I
God.
didn't want the
The
next,
one who knows me
yeah.
the best. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like they come back and of course she takes her moment, of course. And yeah, unfortunately, boom, we've
She
now
re
got
Mhm.
she gets the accompanings with the base note. So now we've got on the ninth inning is it's now 2-1. And it's like that. So yeah, it's completely things. And again, you're gonna be knackered, but Kit has completely has a breakdown, like again, she
Mhm.
goes into like that. And this is a bit I don't like about her character because she's like, oh, you're a bit of a whiner,
She's childish.
like
She's
that.
very
Yeah, she's so
immature.
yeah. So
Yeah.
she a little bit annoying. So Yeah, so she's in their dugout, of course, and this is where we have a discussion about it. But then Dottie comes over and sees her sister crying. You know, but it's their time to field. So she's getting out there, getting ready. Um, we talk about the end bit at the end. But it's like which side would you go on? Did she?
Sisters, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sisters. This is real
Mm.
life. This is
Yeah.
real life.
So we're getting into it. We're getting into the bottom end. And of course, at this one, we get told, whilst it's going on, you've got to hit. You've got to,
You're
get
up.
over it. You're up. And she's the last batter, really, isn't
The
she? Like
last chance. Yep, she is
yeah.
the last chance.
So of course, timeout. And of course, Dottie approaches the pitcher and tells her what we heard right at the start of the movie. Can't hit the high ones and won't lay off them.
High fastballs. She can't hit them. She can't
Yeah.
lay off 'em.
And of course, strike one, strike two, and then doesn't matter how you connect. I'm guessing you connect, and the ball goes
Yeah,
right back.
she kind of flings the bat out at
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. It's like,
The hitting was a
up we go.
little
Yeah,
suspect
I
for
know.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody else is cheering, and it just goes up, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's up there! It's up there!" The crowd are going wild. We hear in the background from the commentator that one of them has made a home run. So it's going like that. And
One
then
run
we just
in. Yeah, one
one
run
run
in.
in. Yeah. Sorry, one run in. Yeah.
Yep.
Then she just keeps running.
So
And then,
it's a tie game, right? It's a
Mm,
tie
yeah.
game. You don't have to do this. You can stop running, right? It's a tie
Mm,
game. So, technically, a very poor choice on the part of Kit right now because
yeah.
she could have
Well,
stopped
you can say
running.
you can tell for everybody else, it's stop. But
Yep.
she just completely goes for it. And the ball's been thrown in to Dottie.
She hit her
And
cutoff,
then,
by the way.
yeah.
Evelyn hit the
Yeah, she
cutoff.
does, yeah. She's like,
She did the right thing. Yep.
"Yay!" And of course, so she's running third, isn't it, into
Full steam ahead. Yep.
yeah,
Third turns,
charging.
cuts third, comes home.
Everybody's slow motion, dramatic, and smashes into Dottie. And then slow motion, the ball rolls out of her hand.
Now, what do you think?
I think she threw it. I always
I
do.
do
Every
too. I
time I'm
think
like,
she let the
every
ball
time.
go. I
Yeah.
think she
And
let the but I also think her giving that direction to the pitcher high and hard, I think she was surprised that Kit hit the ball.
yeah.
So Kit did her part and and stood on her own and that's her own accomplishment. She made the poor choice to
Mm.
round third and come home. That was a bad choice. So Dottie made the choice, I think, to let the ball go.
Yeah, 100%. I always every time I watch it, I'm like, yeah, she could have. One, your sister,
You know she's
like
gonna hold on to it. Yeah.
yeah. So I just think that. So of course, Racine Bells win the World Series, and it's just like they're all they're all a bit sad. Everybody plays a well game, go back into the dressing rooms, getting ready, as you hear the cheers going on outside, and it just fades, into what things even, what's it the thing? Oh, what's his name? Not the Hershey. I keep calling him Hershey, but what are they calling this?
Harvey Bars.
Harvey Bars. We'll give him another season. We'll give
It
him
was a
another
good
season.
show. It was a good
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it was a good show. They were able to bring in the crowds and
Yeah, that's it. Gave it the crowds. They got the numbers in. That was it. So and then of course, everything's, and then we get a little bit of a moment after everybody says they can't, see you next season. Again, when they're doing all this, I don't get why Dottie doesn't tell them I won't be back. She's made up her mind, kind of like that.
Oh,
Because
yeah. I think
when
they
she's
kinda know. I think they know because he's back. I think they know she's
So
not gonna be
so
back.
they come to each other. She picks up, one of her flags, and they just have like a moment. Kit's liking it with her new team. She's going to stay in the city. She's not going to come back home. for a while. I always found this bit for the end bit, and I will just bring this bit up, like when Dottie's like, "Are you going to come home for Christmas?" And she's like, "Probably not," like that. And I always think, like, when we get to the end bit, and we'll do that. Have they not seen each other for
I
like
don't think
years?
they've seen each other for
No.
years, and I think they were
Yeah.
both okay with that.
Yeah.
I just do.
Yeah.
I just do.
It's
They probably not intentionally avoiding each other,
mm,
but going in different directions.
yeah.
Again, Kit loved the game. Dottie was good at the game. And
Mm,
Dottie probably all she wants to do is have kids and be on the farm with Bob.
yeah.
And Kit just wants to stand on her own and do her own thing. And I think they're okay.
Mm. Yeah, it's just when you see the ending, I was
See it
like,
at the
"Is he
end.
just older?" Yeah. But yeah, so they go out, and of course, he's finally shaved. There is a comment like, "You just need a shave, isn't it?" So yeah, um, again, everything he meets Bob, it's just a nice goodbye. He tells
He
them,
seems like a nice
yeah,
guy. Yeah.
yeah, he's nice now. And again, it's just really like telling that Jim got offered a AAA job, and now
Mhm.
he's not going to take it because he's already got a job, so he's going to stay.
He's
It's
gonna
just
stay
like,
with the
yeah,
girls.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. It ends. He's part in this bit is quite nice. He's like, yeah, he's realized I've got my own ball players.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, Dottie goes to get on the bus. Well, I think it's weird because she's getting on the bus, but she didn't. Bob was there. Where was his vehicle?
How did
He
he
had
get here? Yeah, how did he
yeah,
get here?
yeah. And also,
No
how did
idea.
he drive? Because his foot's mangled.
Maybe he's
Like,
getting on the bus too. I don't know. Maybe he's
I
getting
don't
on
know.
a different bus. I don't know.
But
Don't know.
but yeah, they shout at each other. What we get again from the start, hag. Yeah, was it hag, mule?
Mule.
Yeah, lay off the high ones. I like the high ones. And then as it does, it warps back into the beginning of the
Mhm.
snippet, and we see old Dottie. Now, as we're doing this, now I know my girlfriend really hates it. Why did they have this character have Geena Davis's voice? Nobody else does. She
Okay.
hates it. I don't mind it. I was like, I can take it, but why did you get put off? It's the only bit she was like, I get put off.
Okay. Maybe
This
I'm wrong, but this is Geena Davis. She's just
is
been
it.
aged up. Yeah.
Is it? There you go.
Yes.
So we go.
Yes,
Really?
I think this is yeah, I think this is
Oh my god.
definitely Geena Davis.
Should we look that up? People,
Yeah,
look
I
that up.
always thought it was just her. Yeah, because I don't see, let me see, I'm looking in
There's
the
not an old Dottie.
right, I'm looking in the,
That would make sense. That's good. That is good makeup for 92 then, if that is that, because we were like, oh, they've got some good mirror,
let me
like from
see, I'm
old and
looking in
young.
the entire cast here.
There we go.
Going
If
through the
that
whole
is, that'd be
thing. Yeah, I just assumed, I think that's Geena
ah.
Davis just being
Mm,
aged up.
okay.
I gotta go back to IMDb because I didn't print out the third page. Now
It's
I'm
her.
curious.
There
It
you
is.
go.
It has to
It's
be.
her.
Yeah.
It's her. So Daryl, the font of Google knowledge, the quickest
Font
on the fingers.
of Google knowledge. Yeah. So
It's that is that. There you go.
yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
why.
tell her.
Yeah, everyone else
Yeah,
is. Older Kit is a different person.
yeah.
No,
Ah,
no,
there
no,
you go.
no. It is. I'm sorry. It
Oh,
is
there
a
you go.
different actor. That's wild. Her name is Lynn
Ah.
Cartwright. Maybe she just sounded like Geena Davis.
Mm. No, I
I
think
always
that if you listen to it, it's Geena Davis's voice. It's Geena
I
Davis's voice.
swear to goodness, I always thought that was Geena Davis. And
Ah.
I never by the way, and thank you, Daryl, for
Mm,
that Laverne and Shirley was the offshoot of Happy Days. Also in this film is Carmine Ragusa. The old the old guy that May is dancing or older guy that May is
mm,
dancing with is Carmine, is Eddie Mecca. So they did because this is Penny Marshall, right?
mm.
Penny Marshall was Laverne. So because Penny Marshall's made the film, she's put a couple of Laverne and Shirley folks in here. So anyway, so I'm glad I always thought this was Gina Davis because she
Ah, yeah.
looks like her. She really
Mm,
looks like her.
yeah.
Facial, she's got the facial features. So no,
Mm.
it's not her. It is
There you go.
Lynn Cartwright. So
There we go.
excellent,
There we go.
excellent.
So yeah, but now you're gonna watch, you'd be like, ah, they married it
Yeah.
up, so that's it. But
So
yeah,
we're here. Yep.
and then of course we get the playback on Doris, and look who it is, throws the ball and does exactly what we get from the tryout. She kicks the ball. Yeah, that's Dottie, and then it's just, she meets the team, back. Everybody's, happy to see her. I'm guessing she's not been involved with the,
'Cause they kept
reunions.
playing. So
Yeah.
the league itself, was 10 years, 1943 to 1953.
Mm,
So some of these, girls played, I'm sorry,
mm.
1954. So 10 season, 11 seasons. Um, so some of these girls played for many years, and she only played 1 season and then kinda walked away. So no, she didn't keep in touch, and the rest of them did. And, so this is definitely a reunion for her, and
Yeah.
people are coming up to her and saying,
And
"Dottie,
yeah.
do you know me? Do you know me?" And I married a play Evelyn, not Evelyn, the one who's the
Yeah, I know.
uh,
Yeah, I
Miss
you
Georgia.
you
"I
look at
married a
that, it's like
plastic
plastic
surgeon."
surgery. I love that bit. You're like, yes, and then of course, Daddy,
"Marla."
and
Oh
she's
my
like, "Who are
god.
you?" And then just does that.
Just
Oh,
the
you're like,
look.
"Yay!"
Oh my god.
Oh, and then they have a nice moment together, and then you find out Bob is dead. He passed away a
Yeah,
few winters ago, and then they get into the Hall of Fame, the
Hall of
merit,
Fame.
the men's side. I'm guessing about that. So yeah,
No, there's only one side. There's well, there's only the men. There's
is it?
only there's only one side. That the women's area is just a very small exhibit.
Okay,
It's
just a
in
little
the
bit thing.
middle of
Okay,
the hall.
it
Yeah,
makes it
so
look massive. It makes it look
it
massive in this. It
it
does. Yeah.
does, like, when I
It
was
looks like
there.
they've got their own wing.
No, it's
Yeah.
like one wall on one
Oh,
part, but
that's a
it's
bit of a
nice. It's
shame.
very nice.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
nice, and it has some of the artifacts from the
Mm,
women, in uniforms,
yeah. But we
who
get like,
actually played.
yeah, they get this, and we get like a little snippet. I put 61 up there because there's the movie 61, what I really like.
Mhm.
Made for TV, but I like that movie. I
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
for 61 and the asterisks, isn't it? Like that. So
61,
yeah.
correct. Home
And
runs,
then
the real
they coming
record.
on, and then in the distance, we get,
"You're
"Hey!"
gonna you don't remember
Yeah,
me?
yeah,
Let
yeah.
me tell you, you're gonna lose, you're gonna
And
lose."
this bit always go like, and then he goes,
It
"Where's
gets
your
me.
mum?" "Yeah, your mum, yeah, she passed away," and like that, and you're like, "Oh," you like that because you wanna be, you've invested in these
I
characters.
still feel like she
Yeah,
had a hard life. I don't know,
yeah,
it really made you think like she
mm,
probably had a hard
yeah.
life.
And then he's just like, "Yeah, I'm here because it was the," and he even says it like, "This is the best time of her life." Like that, and
Yeah,
you're like, "Well, that's,"
exactly.
she might not have played, the full seasons, and like, yeah, and a shame. And then, of course, they're going around, and we get Jimmy Duggan's, little
Yay.
plat and like that. This gets me every time. It's just when they show him that he's died as
Yeah,
well. They
that
don't say
he's
anything.
died.
Yeah, and every time I'm like, oh,
But
just
he was
like that. And then
79. I
yeah,
mean,
and I was like, and he wasn't, at that time he was drinking himself to death. So
yeah.
it's thinking, but
But
that,
remember,
yeah,
these
it always
girls were
gets me.
young and he was older,
Yeah,
so yeah, they're not gonna
yeah. But it's
he's
87, so uh and they go around, and of course then they're
Ira.
about to open up. But then look, this looks like a big exhibit. Like it looks like it's a 4-quarter exhibit. So
Mhm.
maybe just did it for the move
It
for
may
the
have been
movie.
it may have been bigger back in the
Yeah.
day, like before I
Yeah.
visited.
Mm.
But yeah, and they tell him he should be the one to cut the ribbon
Yeah.
because he kept the league going,
Mm.
and he did. He
Yeah.
advocated for it,
And
and,
then and this one, and I only picked this bit up literally now, and this is me being picky, and I mean being picky, is because they go around. Of course, we get the pictures, and then it morphs into, we see him again,
yeah.
and then we get things, and then we get all the, and I didn't realize back in the 40s how good quality their photos were, because I didn't realize. I was like, oh my god, they did the proper good digital photos on the walls, and I get that they
Well,
wanted.
let
And it's me
me,
just, it's just me picking like that, and I was like, "You wouldn't get that
so
good."
some
Oh, yeah.
photography was pretty good back
Yeah, but
then.
yeah,
So
not as
I'm gonna
there's some,
say what we're
yeah,
used to seeing, so, because photography, like the
mm,
infancy of photography goes back to like the 1850s and even the late 1840s, right? So I've got photos from the Civil War era that are amazing. Um, what we're used to seeing of old photos is what was printed in newspapers. When they were printed in newspapers, they looked awful because of the pixelation or the setting. So really and truly, if you were seeing real photos from back in the day, taken by professional photographers, not by your great-great-grandfather, they're good. They're decent.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that
Oh,
because
it's
what we're
just
used
some
to
of it. If
seeing
you look
is
at the quality,
newspaper
I
quality.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a bit
Newspaper
too.
quality,
Yeah,
not good. But if you had a photo in hand,
yeah,
you might see it. Just yeah.
yeah.
But
But it
oh,
goes
what a
around.
great picture.
Yeah, I like this bit. You're like, oh, again, it brings back the emotion. It's literally, he's like, and then like he plays like the actor just plays, who looks just back at his mum, and I like that. It's just kind of really emotional. You can see he's happy but sad at the same time. It's just
Yeah.
really good. It's nice, and then of course we get Kit and Dottie photos, and then of course they do their song.
A little song.
The little all-American league. We have Canadians,
Yeah.
Irish, Irish, whatever, can't remember, Swedes, and they carry on their little
Uh-huh.
song. And that whilst that's singing, of course, Kit comes in with her massive family. She seems like the only one who didn't get the memo to not bring your family because everybody else doesn't, except for her. The whole group turn up. And this is where, it's back to, haven't they seen each other for like a few decades at least,
Yeah.
because like you know they're surprised to see each other at this reunion. Maybe there's been reunions Kit's gone to and
I mean,
she's
I would hope
reached
she
out the
went to
time.
her
You yeah
husband's funeral or something,
yeah
right?
exactly so and then they both they look at each other like it's I haven't seen you in years, and it's even when you like they embrace and the kids know it because they say, oh look, it's it's Aunt Dottie,
Auntie Dottie,
like
yeah.
they so they know that, and they embrace, and then we get, let's take a picture of the original lineup, and then it just fades into the actual old photo of the lineup, and they close in onto that, and then it ends with just this film is dedicated
Mhm.
to the AAGBPBL, and
PBL,
that
it's a
stands
it's a
for,
good one. All American Girls Professional Baseball League.
there you go.
But the
Better.
post-credit scene, you do get the last
Yeah.
surviving members playing a game of ball, playing ball.
Yeah, they kind of
But
go into like this what's it playing, the Madonna song. Daryl, what's the
this
Madonna
used to
song?
be
I'm no,
my
no, don't.
playground.
He could have done
I'm sorry, Daryl.
that. But
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
there we go. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, it's a
it's a
a
good one.
fun. Yeah, it's a good one. It's things. Now I know you're gonna have some facts now. Here we
I'm
go.
gonna bring up the facts here. So, we've talked about all the stars of this film, but we haven't talked about what else was out in 1992. So the number one highest grossing film in 1992 was Batman Returns. Then you had Lethal Weapon 3, Sister Act, Home Alone, Wayne's World, Basic Instinct, and then A League of Their Own.
Hmm.
So I would say not a year for landmark films, but definitely a year for solid, good solid films that we all
Hmm.
remember. We all remember Batman Returns and Sister Act and Wayne's World. I didn't see Home Alone 2 because I didn't see Home Alone 1. I don't think I saw Lethal Weapon 3, but I liked 1 and 2. And this was filmed in Illinois and Indiana. I guess, I don't know why. I thought this was filmed like in Hollywood or on the lot. And no, it wasn't. This was, filmed in the places where people play baseball
Hmm.
out in the field. So I do like that. And then let's talk about what it made at the box office. Let me share my next screen here for some numbers. Uh-oh, where'd it go?
I'll check it out. I will.
Sometimes when I do this, I have to delete.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Try again.
Computer says no.
Computer says, I love that. Computer says no. Where's my numbers? Numbers. There it is. Sorry
There.
about that. Okay, we're going to go back. Try again. One more time. Technical difficulties. Here we go. This should be it.
Yay.
Okay, it's probably showing the entire screen, but this is as good as we're going to
That's
get.
fine. That's
So we are We had a budget of $40 million, which is $92.6 million today, adjusted for inflation. This movie made money, made 132 million at the box office. It made about 4 times its budget. And so it must, because this was the 7th highest grossing for the year, it must have been a really good year for
Mm.
film. Like people went, we talk about this all the time. Back then, people went to the movies. You could just go to the movies and show up, and there was something you wanted to see there.
Yeah.
It did not win, nor was it nominated for any major awards, but it did get 2 Golden Globe nominations, one for Geena Davis for Best Performance and one for Madonna for Best Song for This Used to Be My Playground. And as we've talked, the Diamond Dreams Women in Baseball exhibit is still, it's I guess a permanent exhibit at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. So you can check out the real ladies who played in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League from 1943 to 1954.
Excellent. Excellent. So shall I give? I'm going to go first.
I think you
And
should
then
go first.
I think because you're gonna have other things. So I'm glad. This is like like I said, I'm glad you put this movie in. Like I really highly recommend it. If I did see it at the cinema, I would have gone out as a Brit, not really into baseball, and gone, go and watch that movie. It's a lot of fun. I
Can I
think
grab a bat? Can you get me a can you give me a glove? Give me a bat and a
and
glove. I'm
I
gonna figure
just
this out.
I think it's a fun, it's got emotion into it. You get invested in it, like we've said, and I really adore this movie. I'll say it's one that I said when it came on, like you on the put it on the wheel. We watched, and we didn't mind watching the bit we watched again because we could easily at home got to the bit where we saw it on TV and said, "Oh, we've seen the rest only 2 weeks ago. We don't have to watch that," because it was still fresh in my memory, you know. But we all just watched it and we both enjoyed it, you know. So me and Jay just sat there and we're like, I really enjoyed that. That was
Yay.
good. That was a good Friday night enjoyment. You know, it was like that. So yeah, it was it's one, you know, I will, if it switches on, it's easy to watch. I think
Mhm.
that's really, it really helps that. I think it helps that it has good stars in it that you recognize, even, but they play it really well. So you, if you don't know the movie, you could easily draw it. You're like, you know, you're a bit fickle like about what you want to watch. It's not overly, and I've said this before in certain movies, it's not overly USA moment. It
Mhm.
doesn't need to be that. I think it's so subtle in elements to tell you a historical element where it's all fictional, but you kind of understand that and you don't need it to be, you know, oh, these are real
Mhm.
life people. But they're, you know, it's based on um elements of, you know, what actually happened. I think that's great. It gets you invested into it. I think the director directed it spot on, and
Mhm.
the editing is spot on. I it's praise for it. Now, this is where my scores are going to be mixed. I don't normally give two scores. If I had to go by the movie itself, because it's not a groundbreaker. It's
No,
not.
it's not.
This is not a winner. I would give it a 6 out of 10. But that's for the movie. Because I enjoy it so much, just my score, I'm going to give it a high 8 because
Wow.
I love
Awesome.
going to this. I love this movie, and I like. I mean, that is, you can just watch it and enjoy it every time. You really enjoy it. So for movie standards, if I'm going to be critic, I would get it's
Mhm.
going to be a 6 because yeah, just because it's that kind of movie. But for me, because I really, really bloody enjoy it. I can just enjoy this. Yeah, it's an 8 for me. So it's a really solid one.
Love it.
For me, I'm just it's we've got a good ones on the wheel. And it was quite good to have one that's not so intense, especially I watched Whiplash, and
Yeah.
then when I did that, I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
that's a cleansing pilot."
For real.
So yeah, it's yeah, I really thoroughly enjoy it. I don't need to, you know it, of course. I don't need to know the in and outs of the game to enjoy this movie. I think that helps. Yeah, it's a solid home run for me.
I love it. I love it. Well, and I'm so glad to hear that, especially from someone across the pond. And not to make this, a case in gender studies, but to hear that from a male, because um, I think when this film was released and even later, it's tend to be seen as a girly film.
Mm.
And, we talked earlier about, hey, this is a sports film. We categorize it that way. I also categorize this as a history film because it touches on such so many elements of life in during World War II in the United States. We were not living through the Blitz as you all were. We were living with, loved ones being thousands of miles away and not hearing from them and not knowing what was going on and dreading the visit from the Western Union or the phone call or the letter in the mail. Um, but life had to go on here, and there had to be, um, you know, elements of regular life that continued, like sport. Sport was so important. Entertainment was so important during this time. I, like you, I can just sit and watch this film. I do get something um, different out of every watching. I think there are subtleties in the performances that I missed on early watchings. I certainly appreciate the fact that these girls could play ball. Absolutely. There've been far too many films with a whole bunch of cut shots, right? To make it seem like someone you know, is a ball player or is a jockey or is a
Mm.
swimmer or whatever it is, and they're not. They're clearly not. But in this case, they were, and you could see that. I give this film a 7, and I think I took sort of your approach in reverse. Um, I looked at it as, a film that I absolutely love and adore. It does what it says on the tin. It's a simple story, it's a compact story, and I can't find very many flaws with it at all. But then I do kind of, you know, say, well, it's not groundbreaking and it's not, cinematic
Well, it's
history.
one thing. It's apparently, I'm going to believe that, the highest
Highest
grossing
grossing
baseball
baseball movie. I
of
fully
all
believe
time.
that. Even more than the Pride of the
Yeah,
Yankees adjusted for inflation. We're gonna have to look that one up, Daryl. We're gonna have to
yeah.
adjust
I'd
it.
say like well, you got Bull Durham did quite well. International Major League did really well.
Yeah, I don't like Bull Durham. I can't stand
Yeah, but it did very well
it. Yeah, I
international.
know.
Yeah,
But
and
probably it
then
could
he did
be
that. What's the other one he did for the game or
Field of
something?
Dreams.
For the no
Field
for
of
love.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Class X, but no for love of the game that did well as well.
Yeah,
That's
but
he likes his baseball movies, doesn't
for me,
he?
it's my second favorite baseball film because my first favorite is Field of Dreams. Stop, is Eight Men Out, um, both
Yep.
of which have David Strathairn in it. So he's like baseball guy um, in the two movies I like. But yeah, not groundbreaking, but a good, solid film with
Mm.
not a lot to dislike about it.
I say
Great,
we were nitpicking. You have to nitpick.
yes,
You do have
great,
to nitpick.
very I think the word I would use is earnest
Mm,
performances, not over the top, really, just good writing.
mm.
Again, not groundbreaking in terms of the dialogue, but good, quick, witty writing as needed. And you mentioned John Lovitz, John Lovitz just delivering those deadpan lines in such a comic way. Um, and overall, it's a film that I think, like, you remember because you remember, "Wow, this is funny. Oh my god, it pulls at the heartstrings. Oh my goodness, it, you know, has the greatest a really good ending." And because you remember it and you wanna watch it over and over again, that's a good film.
Mm.
So, I'm so glad that you enjoy it as much as I do. I'm so glad that Jade enjoys it as much as I do, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that we remembered to put it on the wheel of film because I think when Jay and I were talking about Moneyball,
Mm.
that's when I said, "Oh my god, League of Their Own is not here." So if we're putting
And
Moneyball on
we have this movie had Madonna.
and
Can I add to
Daryl,
that?
sorry,
This,
I'm remiss.
can I add to this? And I might get a bit of backlash from Daryl. This movie has Madonna, and she's well acting in her only good movie in as she acts in. like,
I
like
think
I
Daryl
say,
might agree. I
yeah.
think Daryl
Or
agrees that
some of them.
Evita is a tragedy and a
What is the other
travesty.
one I put in the chat? There's the one with she did with her husband at the time.
Oh, Guy Ritchie. Which one did
Guy
she do
Ritchie,
though?
that Swept Away, wasn't it? The really it's really bad. It's really
Ugh.
it's but the thing is, it's a just a bad movie. It's just like
Mhm.
yeah, you can blame a lot on everybody for that. Like, but yeah, it's a lovable movie. I like I would never ever put this in the category of like it's I know you mentioned it. I can see why people would. It's a female
Yeah, like girl
movie. Go
power
with
movie.
it.
It's
Yeah,
not.
I like that. It's just a good sit down,
It's
good
a good sit
enjoyment.
down. It's a good sit down. I think we've had quite a few films
Mm,
on the list that are like this. They're
mm.
not groundbreaking, they're not gonna make our top 10 of all time. It's just a good movie. It's
Yeah,
just that's why film club is here. We recommend, and
mm.
we recommend this film for sure.
And that's it.
Um,
But
yeah,
yeah, now we're gonna have to do something that we've never
I
ever,
know,
I
I
think,
feel
done
bad.
before.
I feel very
Jay
bad.
is if Jay, I think Jay
Jay's with
has
us
gone
in
out of chat.
spirit.
He might be there, but he might be busy changing something. I don't know. There could be a lot going on. Feeds
Mhm.
every hour, so we can bypass that. But if he's in chat, Jay, it's gonna happen without you, unfortunately.
But hopefully it'll be
We're
one
gonna
of
do the
your
wheel.
films again.
I'm
So
guessing it's going. So yeah, if he's back, we more than
it's
likely.
gonna be a gangster film. It's gonna be Goodfellas. It's gonna be
Uh,
Goodfellas.
oh, you're going for good fellas.
I
So
think
yeah,
so.
let's share the wheel as we always do. I don't know what I want.
I've had a break
Oh, I
from
don't know.
reading, so I have a feeling whatever it is, I'm gonna have a big
Oh
long
yeah,
book to
you will.
read.
Yeah.
I
Oh
haven't had a
god.
book for about 4 weeks.
Oh no, yeah. So Whiplash isn't. Is that based? That's not on that is original screenplay, is it? I didn't
It
look
is
up.
an
Look up.
original screenplay, yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go for the longest, but it could be Lord of the Rings, and you could have just put your foot in it. But this is for Jay. We're gonna do it for Jay for the week after. Let's do this. Ooh, always exciting.
Always exciting.
I can tell it won't have Madonna in it, unfortunately.
Are you sure one won't sneak in there?
Okay, it's one of mine.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is.
Oh, so kind of war, I'm guessing, but not. It's have a look. There's some good heartthrobs in there if you like that. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
yeah, you just looked it up. Yep. It's not what you expect out of a. It's kind of not war. It's kind of the training to war, I
Okay.
suppose, like that. So
Oof, we've had a lot of war, haven't we?
yeah, we do like our war movies,
We do
unfortunately.
like our
This yeah,
war.
but it's got the
Colin
Irish
Farrell, okay.
guy, the Irish heartthrob into it. This is probably considered one of his breakthrough movies in acting, um, because it's so hard. It's hard hitting. I'll give you that. It's quite intense, but it gives it like the insight of going to war. The
Okay.
preparing and the thing when you get there as well. It's good. It's well, I put it on the list, so yeah, it's one of mine. A little bit different. I did this as a little bit of a. Oh, we've not had anyone that isn't just full blown out war. So this one gives the kind of the insight
Okay.
of the people around it. So it's good. I can't remember when was this.
It's a
Sorry,
Joel Schumacher film. It
yeah,
was made in 2000.
I know it was an early yeah.
Um,
So yeah, but it got like it's highly appraised on. So I can't remember. Um,
oh goodness.
yeah. So
Is this a book? Let's
oh, is it
see.
a book? Oh, is
'Cause
it
it
going to
is
be a
a
book?
it is a real place
Mm.
based on a book.
Yeah. So this is their
Yes, it
Fort
is.
Fort
Oh,
Poke.
no,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not the
Oh, no.
same. Okay, there is a book,
Okay.
Tigerland, but it's about something
All right.
else. So,
But yeah, this is all about what they had to go through to get ready to go to Vietnam. So it's it's a little bit different. Well, I think is quite good because you don't really see that aspect. It's always in Vietnam, except for, of course, the beginning of Full Metal Jacket. What it's like different, but this shows the more of the dirt,
mm,
the grunt, and it's a bit more realistic, I suppose, in the training where getting down into the dirt and making having the drill sergeants going at you. So it's like, but it's there's elements to it. I don't want to give it too much away
Fort
if you
Polk. So it's
Polk,
Fort Polk in the United States.
in
Yep,
Louisiana. So yeah,
Louisiana.
yeah. So
Yeah, all right, looking forward to
yeah,
it since I haven't
but
seen that before.
but yeah, he looks young. I haven't watched his things like Colin Farrell. He looks like a
Mm,
young man now.
he
So
does
yeah,
look young in
yeah,
this
yeah. It
film.
looks yeah. I
Jeez.
think it's I think because it was his first one got introduced was Minority Report, and I think this
Mhm.
was literally soon after. Like I can't remember, they ran the
Okay.
same. Yeah, and Alicia was the one where everybody's like, "Oh, he can act. He's just not a pretty Irishman."
Just
So yeah,
not a pretty. Yeah.
there we go. So we've got now we got back to back. We've got kind of Whiplash and this one now a little bit of a intense. So yeah, so this
Psychological break you
yeah.
down and build you back up movies kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. So that's
Oof.
yeah. One's going to be about drumming. One's going to be about war. There we go. But yeah, there you go, Jay. So we got Tigerland. I guarantee if you've not seen it, Jay's probably not seen it. So yeah, I forgot this
Probably
was
not.
on my list. So yeah,
Good.
that's
Well,
good.
that's what the
Don't
Wheel
skip.
of Film does.
Yeah, I like
It
because I
surprises
like it,
us.
and and I haven't put it on. I haven't watched it in a while. So yeah, it'd
So
be a good one.
today was our 36th, individual
Mm.
film, not counting specials, that we've reviewed on Film Club. So wow, we've still got hundreds more to go at the Wheel of
When you
Film.
look at that list, I'm saying like, wow, there's a lot on there, and we keep
Because,
adding, we keep forgetting, and we keep adding sometimes. So it's like that. So
well, I think I think we
mm,
should do when we get to 50 is to kind of go back over the 50 that we've looked at and remind
mm,
ourselves, like, how did we
yeah.
rank them? How did we rate them? And kind of do a little summary of the variety that is
Oh
the
yeah.
Wheel of Film when we get
Oh
to,
yeah. There.
we'll
Yeah.
get to 50 this year. That's pretty wild.
Mm,
That's
mm,
that's really wild. When
yeah.
did
We haven't
when
got.
did we
We
start? What was our first? I mean, I know what our first was, but what was our
what?
first date? Like what
Oh, let
date?
me have a look. Let me look at my. Go right back.
Go,
If I
is it in
go
the sheets?
to playlist, I
Go
can
to the
quickly.
sheets. Oh, I can also go to the schedule. Hello. Oh, it was July 21st.
Okay.
Miller's Crossing was July 21st. So we're
Okay.
just, yeah, we're 2 months from, we're like 10 weeks away from 1
Oh,
year.
wow. Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's it. Yeah. Like, yeah, from Miller Crossing, No Country for Old Men, and Saturday Night Fever, Greatest
We
Escape,
were doing these
Halloween,
every other week for a
Casino.
little
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We've only actually, I don't think, have we had, I can't trying to have a look. We've not had any romance, have we? We haven't had a romantic movie yet.
4
Oh, no,
weddings
we
and a
did.
funeral,
For a
but
few.
it's
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Four
more of a
weddings.
comedy though.
Yeah. And then we've had 2 Japanese movies. I think they've only been our 2
Mhm.
foreign ones. Yeah. It's yeah, and I
We've
still
had a
want
lot of
Bella to
gangster and a lot of World War II. Like World War
yeah,
II is, I mean, because
but
look,
then it's gonna pan out because then we'll start getting some very, very bizarre ones or something coming out. You're like, ah, when it gets a bit more, they're gone like that. So yeah,
some point, I
but
know.
we've
And
still not got a western, and I pop westerns on
we
there.
still
We've
haven't
not
had
had a
a
western.
Western. And I
Oh,
still got to figure out how to fix this tracker because our tracker, so for those in chat, we keep a little super secret. It's not like a DSP secret Discord. We just have a big spreadsheet that we keep track of not just the films, but the actors and some of the data. But when I got to 25, when we got to film number 25, Google Sheets wouldn't let me add any more
oh,
columns. And it's like, it's done. So
oh,
I've got to figure out how to add more
how to do
columns
that? Yeah.
because the last one we tracked was Ghostbusters and we've gone 10 since Ghostbusters. So
Okay.
can you believe we've gone
Mm.
10 since
But yeah,
Ghostbusters?
and this is
Yeah.
now our second Tom Hanks movie
Is it the
because we
second or
had
the third? Let's see. We had Castaway.
Castaway, and that's it, isn't it? We've not had any.
We didn't have any more, but there's so many on the
Mm,
list that are Tom
yeah.
Hanks. Obviously Apollo 13. Um,
Mm,
gonna have that one on there.
yeah.
Um, this is our first. It's our first Gina Davis. Um, we have another David Strathairn because, well, we have 2 of his
Mm.
on.
And
I
it'd be
put
interesting to see who's writes the score because this is Hans Zimmer, isn't it?
Zimmer.
Who did
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and we've
Yeah,
had
see, and
him.
we were
Yeah,
we were tracking those. We were tracking like
yeah.
director, producer, all that. So we just ran out of columns. So I'm gonna fix
Mm,
that so we can figure out how to get that on there because like we had even last week when we were doing our war special, we had 2 David Lean films in a
mm,
row. Um, have We've only had 1 Oliver Stone. Like Platoon is our only Oliver Stone, I think,
yeah, I don't
so
yeah.
far. Um, and of course, we've had Martin Scorsese with,
It'll be on there again, gotta be.
he's going to
And
be on there a couple of times.
and we've not
So
had any Stanley Kubrick. not, and it'll be on there probably
No,
3
'cause we
times. Got to
haven't
be 3 or
had Full Metal yeah, we've got Full Metal Jacket on there, we've got, I'm sure, A Clockwork
2001.
Orange. Do you have A
Yeah, it
Clockwork
must
Orange?
be. Yeah,
I
I'm not
think.
too sure if that's on there, but yeah, we could 3 or has to be like that when they come out. You're like, oh,
Oh, The
so yeah,
Shining. We would've
is that on
one of
there?
us should have put The Shining
I
on that list.
I wouldn't
Let's
have.
see. You wouldn't have? I would have. Let
No.
me see. Let's check
Dun, 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 dun.
the list.
The list goes on.
And this would be under the.
Yeah.
The.
I bet it's not on there. And you're gonna add it, aren't you? You're
No,
gonna add it on.
it's
There you go.
not. Sting
Mm,
is on there. And what did I say? What was the other Kubrick one I said? Oh, A Clockwork Orange. Did someone
Clockwork
put that
Orange.
on?
No, 2001 is on there because I would have
Clockwork
definitely.
Orange is not on there either.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so
So,
it must be only. Mm,
so we're down to, hang on, how many hundreds? We're down to 301 minus 36 equals, okay, chat, help me here. 265 left to go.
there you go. Not
It's just
no time at all.
265.
No time at all.
It's just 265
No. Maybe this is
films
why
left.
yeah, that's why I like it because I think it, like chat. Hopefully, you agree. Is these movies like you think some of them you kind of off heart. I'll give you that, but some you're like, oh, I adore that movie, but you don't get around watching them again.
Yeah.
And I think this is where and it's good that you can mix it up every week of like, oh, a new movie, kind of, but you've seen it, or like, yeah, some of you, the ones I bet you've never seen, and I think that's good, or you forget like you've watched it. There's ones out there that we've got there. So I'm like, oh yeah, I've watched it once, but but I can't remember it, like Whiplash. I can't. I remembered the movie. I couldn't remember watching the movie, if that makes sense. And then when I watched it, I was like,
Mhm.
oh, that's that movie. I remember that now.
Yep.
So yeah, it's good when that happens, when you're like, oh, that's back in. But yeah, especially when there's sometimes when you're looking on your on your streaming sites, and there's sometimes nothing on there. Is Notting Hill on our list? You would have put Notting Hill?
I would not have put Notting
Ah,
Hill
there you go.
on the list. So
Unless Jay did, I wouldn't have.
I would not have put
Ah,
Notting Hill. No, it's not
there we
there.
go.
And okay, I do like my Brit boys. I do like, the sappy comment. I think Four Weddings and a Funeral is the correct one. I think that's of that genre. I think it's Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Mm.
Can I watch Notting Hill? Sure. Did I feel like it merited a place on the Wheel of Film list? No, I didn't. But that's not to say it's not a fun film, to just kind of guilty pleasure on those
Mm.
kinds of films.
Yeah, I think if we all put the movies that we've done it would be like a thousand a thousand movies on that watch. We had to be a bit critical. It's
Oh
like,
gosh,
oh
I
yeah.
know. I mean, there's just so many, and I'm behind. You know,
Mm,
I went to college and then I went to law school and then I did some grad school and then the one thing I had to get rid of was television and film to be
mm,
able to fit all that stuff. And now that my kids can dress themselves and they're old enough to kind of take care of themselves mostly. Um, it's only in the last 3 or 4 years that I have like my time back on my schedule. And so I can do these things now. I can read more. I can watch films. I can travel more. So when we all get to that point in our lives where we're not doing the mom shuttle run, I am not a soccer mom. When we don't have to be doing the shuttle runs all day long, all the time, then we can have room for these things. And I'm so glad. And this is why I'm so glad, for the very reason you just shared, is that I wouldn't I wouldn't choose to watch um Akira, right? I wouldn't choose to watch Whiplash again. Same thing. But I'm glad I am. I'm so
mm,
glad I am. Um so yeah, we have so many good films here. We do.
mm.
I'm just
And we
scrolling
also
through.
got my greatest ever Brain Dead on there. When that comes out, it's going to be hilarious.
Never heard of it. I know, I've never heard of it.
That's
Looking
what's
forward.
his name? Brain Dead. Well, I think they called it different in America, but it's called Brain Dead. It is by the director of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
us talking about it, but I
yeah,
had never
he did.
seen
I
it.
didn't put his worst. His first movie is called Bad Taste,
Right, yeah,
and
I
it's hard to watch.
it
This
is
one
what
is
it is. Yep.
a funny bit, and I can guarantee there's a bit with the custard, and then you'll probably never have custard for a while.
Ooh, okay.
And it's funny, but then you go, "Oh, okay, that's funny," but I get well, it's a bit cringe funny. It's good. But when that comes on, that'll be uh, one of Jay's "What the hell did you just make me watch?" moments. So it'll be good. But yeah, we got a couple on there
Good.
from me. Yeah, we got you know what you like when but the thing is, I got for my movie thing, my stepdad was a 100% a movie nerd, so I got that. But when you're in the military, there's sometimes when you're
There's
in your
nothing
in an
else
area
to
and
do.
you just got what is that old VHS tape? And so you
Uh-huh.
stick it on and you're like, what is this movie? And that's yeah, a lot of the time you just like in a guard room or whatever, and you just like somebody's donated or give like watch this, and then you just what is this about? And then that happens a lot. Is like you watch
Mhm.
movies that you would never watch. So my a lot of my ones, yeah, have been collected over the years of just to breeze through the
Pass the
time. Sometimes,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. So you get that. So yeah, I've watched a lot of bad movies as a you know. So yeah, really,
'Cause
really,
there's
but
a
like
lot of bad movies out there. So for the
yeah.
301 films on this list, there are thousands of
Mm.
bad films that will never make this list.
Yeah, and there's the one zombie beaver that Abe, who's not been in chat, terrible, is literally one of those movies you have to watch because it's that bad. It's one of those ones. It came on, and I think me and Abe must have caught it at the same time in the
Oh my
UK.
god.
It's so bad.
So
It's
bad it's
so
good.
bad, but you have to watch it to realize
Yeah.
one, who gave them the money to make this movie? And we've all watched that movie, when you're like, somebody paid these people to
Uh-huh.
make this dribble. And you're like, did they do it for like now we get Disney just doing it for tax write-offs? But like they're like, what was the incentive? And then I was like, it's not even that. Okay, who pitched it? This has got to be one of the greatest pictures in the world. Somebody go, I'll give you $1 million to make this B
Oh, I
movie,
know one
and
that
just
beat it.
throw it out. Yeah, and
I know one
what's that?
pitch that beat it. Snakes on a Plane. Do you know the backstory for Snakes on a Plane?
Well, they threw it away, didn't they? And it
How to make
was
the stupidest movie in the world.
yeah,
What? Okay, really? What are you gonna call it? Let's call it the
snakes,
stupidest thing in the world. Snakes on a
snakes on a
plane, and they made Snakes on a Plane.
yeah, and it was only because Samuel L. Jackson accidentally was in their reject pile, wasn't it? Like
Yeah,
of ideas, and he was bored and he picked it up and went, I want to do this
I wanna
because
do
it's
this.
so
It's Snakes on a
because it's
Plane.
because it's snakes on a plane, and that's how
Mhm.
we got. Yeah, it's so great. But yeah, that helps with that. But yeah, the other pictures, but that's like a B movie with a good actor. When you get it's like it's some you get some bad ones, but like I love the ones like we've talked about it like them 70s movies where you have to have boobs in it. They like
Oh,
it's
it's
in the
the
contract.
it
And then
is
you've got and then you had the like those old not the Hammer horror movies, but those really bad horror movies. And
the
then they
Vincent
just have
Price
like
movies.
yeah, but like something like that, but worse. Um
Yeah.
like those ones where they just have like a woman running like
Naked.
topless, yeah,
Mhm.
around like and a vampire or werewolf or Frankenstein's running after him. It's so silly, and like those movies, like you can understand, but like low budget like that. But nowadays, when you got more technology and they can say no, it's great. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind a B movie when it's done
Oh, I
well.
don't. I think
Yeah.
we should when we get close to our let's plan out, like, around our 100
Mhm.
or not 100, I'm sorry, not 100, around our 1 year. We talk about, we should do the "So Bad It's Good" category, our B
But then
movie.
the thing is, if you go by production value, like Evil Dead, production value is so low, but it's a good movie. But it's a B movie. It's a student movie, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll have to
but it's
talk through that because, like,
yeah.
I always mention those old Vincent Price movies.
Mm,
They have a place in my heart. They just do. And talk about simple. They're very
mm,
simple, and most of them are just following an Edgar Allan Poe story. They're horribly acted. Oh my gosh, they're just so cheesy. Cheesy is the word.
yeah.
Um, But they're like, late at night,
But I
you're
do.
trying to fall asleep, and you turn one of those on.
I do
Yeah.
like putting them on. They sometimes have them on Amazon Prime. I'm like, you know what?
Put you
That
right to sleep.
title is absolutely great. I'm putting it on. Right,
It's so
some
stupid, I have to watch.
absolutely, yeah, some stupid like, you know, women from the Amazon versus Dracula. Watching it, I don't care. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah.
those ones with, that were, like, I remember one called, like, The Ants, and it
Mm.
was obviously someone, like, literally zooming in on ants and, trying to do some sort of special effect that made it look like these ants were trampling on people, and it's just the special effects are so horrible, but they're fun.
Oh,
They just are fun. So we should do
mm.
our B movie recommendations, and then, um, we definitely need to do the ones that aren't films that we think are good, now that we're getting so
Maybe we
many
should add it
straight to
to the wheel.
streaming.
Add these subcategories
Straight to
into the wheel.
streaming, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
so,
like
like
that.
so the wheel could give us, like, bonus points, like,
Yeah,
something other than a film could pop up. It could be ding,
guilty pleasures.
name your guilty pleasure. Exactly. It could be, like you could have, like
Mm,
yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah, we'll be doing this
maybe see that.
until we're 90, chat. I hope you're all here for a
We should do it like
long
that.
time.
Sandy's guilty pleasure. See what Jay's guilty pleasure.
Mhm.
Like that one movie. You're
Or,
like,
like, a
I
wild
like
card.
it and I don't
Oh,
care.
we could have, like, let Abe pick a film.
Oh, don't do that. That'd
No,
be
we won't
terrible.
do that, sorry.
That's a
Well,
bad
okay, but wait a
idea.
minute. Would you let Abe or would you let Highlander pick a film? Hmm. If you had to.
I'm gonna go for Highlander. I'm gonna go for Highlander because I know the movie and I know we could have a good conversation
We
about
could
it.
have a good laugh
Abe's
at it,
just
okay.
would be just so far out there. It would be like some weird thing. You'd be like, what is this? I just don't. My brain just melted
We
watching it.
could do let
Yeah.
chat pick a film.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god,
gosh.
let chat pick a film.
That would be
Yeah,
wild. That would
that
be
would be
wild.
horrid. There would have to be
And we would have to
yeah.
watch it. Whatever they chose, we would have to
Oh my
watch
god,
it.
just have like half an hour of just chat, just going this one, and then watch them argue about until they literally come to an agreement.
Mhm. Now see, if
There
we
we
were
go.
like, a certain horrible streamer who's, a three-letter, acronym for a horrible streamer, we would say, "Well, if you pay us a super chat, you could do." See, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
We
If
don't.
somebody wants to pay me $1,000, I will watch that movie though. We won't
Okay,
talk about it.
okay. It's a
Oh.
deal. It's a deal. But yeah, there's so much, but here's what's also kind of discouraging is it's great to have the Wheel of Film because there is nothing in the
Mm.
theaters now. And I think what did we say the latest film we reviewed was what year was it? 2012? No, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Tw- no, okay,
What
so we had a
when was
2000.
Whiplash? When were we gonna be doing that?
Let me
That's
find
gotta
the
be
year.
that's gotta be like 12. That's gotta be 2012, isn't it?
Whiplash
2016.
is 2014. Okay, so it's our
There you
latest
go.
one. It is
Mm.
2014. Because No Country was No Country 2012?
That's gotta be yeah, that's earlier, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a
Mm.
good film. We've had so many good films on this
Mm.
list and many, many more to come. So yeah, let's see. We have Matrix was 99.
Mm. And we got Mr. Bookshop on Dan to come on the stream as well. So that was
We did. He came on for what not Critters. Inner Space.
Inner Space.
Oh no,
No, he did
Sicario.
no Inner
Sicario was
Space.
2015. No, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I'm sorry,
Okay. Oh, yeah,
2015 was Sicario, so that is our
yeah.
latest film.
And he
New
has always said he'll come on if we ever do Sound of Music.
He has to.
But
He'll
that's
sing
not
it
on the
all.
list, and it's one of my hated movies of all time. So it would the drain. I hate that movie. I really hate that movie. I just think, but if we do, I think Dan will probably sing the whole way through the show, so it'd be great.
There may be some other films on here he could sing. Let's see.
uh,
Well, we'll
I
find,
don't think we got really got actual musicals.
I don't think so.
Grease on there? Grease must be on there, isn't it?
I
That'd be
don't
the closest, but
I didn't put it on there. I don't like
no.
Grease.
I just trying to bet if you go by a classic musical, that is well, yeah. I'm trying to think. Les Somebody
What? No, I wouldn't have put that one on there either. That's just oh, sorry. Did I react too strongly to that
you
one?
did then,
I because I love
clipped.
the
Yeah.
I I love the stage version. You know, they don't
Yeah,
deserve, you know,
everybody, yeah.
none of the films have ever really done the book or the stage version
Mm.
justice. Um, so yeah, it would be great to have him come on and sing. We should remind him of that. Oh,
Mhm.
Quadrophenia. Okay. Okay, AWOL.
It's not
Quadrophenia and or Tommy. Mm,
Quadrophenia, you wouldn't you can't class it as a musical because it's the background, it's the
it's the
music, isn't it,
yeah,
for
Tommy
yeah.
is
Mm,
music though. Is that a
yeah.
musical? What do we call those? See over here we call them rock operas. We don't
Yeah, I
call
don't
them
know, yeah. I
musicals.
don't know what you would call Quadrophenia.
I don't
Did you
know.
get like? Do you know what the? Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's always a thing like between my family if you were a mod or rocker, because my uncle was a mod, but my stepfather was a rocker. So like
See,
that.
I
So
don't know what a mod is versus a rocker.
Quadrophenia. You know, like the
Oh,
bikes.
the okay. So
Yeah. So
okay,
literally, your mod, you wear always loads of
the fashion.
yeah. Just it's not it's. There was okay. If I were to think, because I know the background, mods had the bikes, the little mopeds, I suppose you want to call them. They all done them up, and they had their own unique little style, like the Vespers, and the Italian
Mhm.
Vespers. But a lot of them did alternative ways to have fun, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, where rockers had the big bikes or the big cars, greasy hair, and alcohol. That
Mhm.
was really it. But what yeah, but they did go into different kind of music and like that. But yeah, and then you had all the other ones like the Bohemians were one bits as well, but they were things, but there was loads of different ones in the UK. But mods and rockers, especially, they used to run to think it was about I think that's what it said it is to London to Brighton run. That you will still be like
Okay.
getting to
So kind of
fights.
like in a way, East Coast, West Coast here, kind of
Yeah,
that
yeah, no, because
rivalry. Like you can't be
not
both. You
really,
have to
because
be one
there
or the
was
other.
like a travel to the seaside and then have a fight,
Oh,
and that's
okay.
what
So it was
Quadrophenia
just
is. Yeah, it was just
okay.
everybody in the things. It was just like it was just like a time and thing. So there wasn't like East Coast, West Coast. It was like you would have like your neighbor would be a rocker, you would be a mod, but you would live in the same area, and it's like that.
Oh,
So it
so it
wasn't
could be
like
mixed
it's your
together.
mates. It's like your mates would all be mods and your mates would all be rockers, you know, and
By
like
the
that
way,
was
if
it.
you're in the US, East Coast all the way. East Coast. West Coast
Oh,
is fake.
no.
East Coast is real. Just saying.
Ooh, there you go. But yeah, anyway, on that great baseball movie, does it make me
Yay.
want to watch baseball? Probably not. To
No,
be honest, we
doesn't
make
even
me
make
watch.
me want to watch
Yeah, want
baseball.
to watch the movie again? I'm happy. Okay, like 8 Men Out, I'd go and watch that now. I would watch that. That's
That's a
a
good
great
film.
one. Yeah.
That's some Ray
But
Liotta,
yeah,
John
I'm
Cusack.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a baseball movie, a baseball game on right now that I
Oh, there
can. Yeah,
is.
I'm
Yeah,
going to.
it's
Yeah, there you
actually
go.
in 1 hour. So 7:05 is usually, the first pitch on the East Coast here, unless it was a day game
And
because it's a weekend.
And who is it? It'd be Red Sox, isn't it? You're gonna say it.
What do you mean, who is it? It's everybody. I told you they all
Oh,
play
no, but who's
162 games.
but who's on TV? I didn't know if you had like it. They
They're
don't all
all on
go on.
TV. They're all on
See,
TV all the time.
we only get the one. We only get one.
Okay.
They pick one game.
My team, they're on the West Coast today. So they're in
Okay,
Los Angeles to play the Angels.
actually,
So they don't play
get it.
until first pitch is not until 9:38 p.m., which would be 2:38 a.m. your
Yeah,
time.
I'm not gonna
So I
be up
don't
for
know
that.
what's on your TV. No, we can watch anything we
There we
want.
go.
It's they're all
So,
we have more than 2 channels over
uh,
here, James.
what
We can watch
we used to
anything
have
we
more.
want. You
Okay,
got
let's have
5
a
cha
look.
You've got Dave. David okay, chat. There's a TV channel in the UK called Dave.
Yeah.
It's a TV
Do you know
channel.
why it's called
No.
Dave? Oh my God, Red Dwarf, Dave Lister, Dave.
So they name a TV channel.
And it just plays all the old stuff. So what they
It
used to do,
does, I love it. That's where
it
I watch
they
QI, the old QIs, the good ones.
so yeah, they got things, and yeah, it used to be called something else. I can't, but somebody chat, you have to let me know. It used to be called thing, but then they got the rights to do Red Dwarf, like to fund it, so they changed their name to Dave. But it used
The
to be called
channel
something
is
before.
called Dave.
Dave. Yeah, from Dave Lister.
But yeah,
There
so
we go.
we have more than,
That's why my channel
5
is called
channels here in
Stasis
the US.
Kick. So there you go. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
so
a
we
look.
can watch any game we wanna watch tonight. We can watch it.
I can't remember what normally it's on. Let's have a look.
What channel do
Seven.
you have to turn on to watch
Um,
baseball?
at the moment, it doesn't actually say. But, we got repeats. No, there's some IndyCar series racing at the moment. Some golf, some tennis, Madrid Open. There we go. New York Yankees versus the Athletic.
There you go.
There we go.
There you
So that
go.
looks like a day. Yeah, that must have been a day one because that's been on for a while.
It's sad I don't watch tennis anymore. I stopped when Rafa Nadal retired, 'cause I really liked
Yeah.
watching him.
Yeah, I've never been into tennis, I must say that. One of
Can't
the ones that just
stand Novak Djokovic or any of the other
yeah.
arrogant sods. Rafa's a nice guy, just like Roger Federer, and that's why they're such good
Yeah.
friends.
It's probably
They're
because of
just nice
Brits,
people.
we've always been bad, and when we've
Mm,
ever had anybody's okay, they've
we
got
had
an
Andy
attitude.
Murray.
Yeah, but he's got an attitude that stinks, and nobody really likes him. He's not. Yeah, he's off court. He's not very nice to the English.
Aw,
Let's say that.
that's not
So
nice.
yeah, a lot of people got put off by him, and like his interview style is awful. That's it. So yeah, a lot of people got put off with him, and when he's on court, he's British, and then when he's off court, he's Scottish, and then hates everybody who's not Scottish.
Oh, wow.
He was one of those. So unfortunately,
Uh,
like he winded up people early on in his career with some really just comments, and it's just like, yeah, and
well, that's
I think
stupid.
that kind of thing. And I'm not into it, but people who are in tennis, they just like, yeah, they don't like him, get him off the court. And I think it helped then that we got that young girl that kind of then emerged, but then she panned out. Who I think won US
Justine
Open, didn't she? I can't
what's
remember.
her name?
I can't remember her name, but yeah, I've never been into tennis really. That's it. And I
Yeah.
used to live quite near Wimbledon, and I never even had the urge to go. And that's
I
it.
did a tour at Wimbledon. It's one of the best sports
Mm,
tours I've ever been on,
yeah.
because they did tell all the history. My husband, my kids, my sister-in-law, we all went, and it was great. It was absolutely wonderful. Um,
Mm. I went to the first purpose built, and it's probably closed when you went there. The first purpose built tennis court ever built in Hampton Court Palace.
was it there? No,
Yeah.
I didn't see it when
They
I've been
they
twice
they
to
had it
Hampton
closed.
Court.
Yeah, they had it closed for a long time to renovate it because the walls were coming down. And of course, it wasn't not like tennis go now, but it's a net. The court is like the same, but they used to be able to get off the walls. That was the only difference, really. And then you
Oh,
had
wow.
the watch.
No, I
But yeah,
don't
it's
think I
literally
saw
a thing.
that. I saw the, like, the huge grapevine. There's a whole building built to
Oh yes.
maintain this ancient grapevine. Um, but yeah, love Hampton Court. Gotta go. I didn't go on this trip to
Mm,
Hampton Court because there was so much else to do. So
mm. And a lot of people forget from the other movie we watched is most of Hampton Court is not Henry VIII. It's Charles the First.
it's Charles
Yeah,
the
yeah, it
First
was.
and
Well, yeah,
William and Mary as well.
yeah,
William and
yeah.
Mary did a
But
big
he had
restoration.
the most of the influences of because that's what he did. He loved, didn't he? Like doing all that. So yeah, most of the what you actually see isn't Tudor. It's just built on top of it. So it's like
Mhm.
that. So it's all added. But yeah, I loved it.
Oh,
Especially I
yeah.
lived around about 5 minutes from it. Like walk.
Yeah, the architecture part of it is what I like.
Yeah, so
Lucky
yeah.
you.
No, I know
You
it
get
was at
to
the time.
walk to history every
Yeah.
day. Jeez.
That's it. Except for when they had the flower show, then you avoid it because it was just queues.
Oh, I bet. I bet. For sure.
That's it. But yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Cool.
awesome film club.
Yes. But so, will you got any more walks with your dad? Is he going to be now a
I don't
YouTube
know.
star?
I
Has he
don't
got
know.
has he got? I don't think that this is for me now. You never know. He probably overtakes us all. He will do. Come on.
My dad
I like
probably
that's it.
overtakes all of us. No, he's out. He he's more into finding the birds and ducks and geese, and
God,
I'm more into the
there are probably
architecture.
channels. There'll be channels for
So
that.
yeah,
I thought
he
you were going to say like he's into finding like something like the lost convent of
no,
like Christ or something.
I know. It'd be like me and Sean Connery. Yeah, me is Indy, my dad is Sean
Oh,
Connery, looking for
Now
the
that's a movie.
Holy
Now
Grail.
you pitched
It'd
it.
be
That,
great. It'd be
yeah,
great. No, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Adventures with Dad.
yeah.
No, he's a big Facebooker. He posts pictures of birds to Facebook every day. He takes about 300 photos a day. And so we've had that conversation about, deleting and indexing, and he's been doing this for years. The man's got millions of photos with no tags, no names.
Oh,
Thank goodness the dates are in the metadata. Duplicates, triplicates. So we've had that conversation, Dad. Let's hit that delete button. Let's do it. And we're not there yet. So he's got all these
oh,
external hard drives full of bird pictures. But God love him. I'm so glad he has a great hobby, because as we all get older, we need those really good hobbies to keep our brains going. And for him, he does, 5 or more miles a day, walking every single day, walking around. So um, that's
that's
what we
great.
all should be doing. So yes, live stream with Dad this morning. No, tomorrow's Mother's Day, and so happy
Oh
Mother's
yes,
Day
yeah.
to all the moms out there. On Mother's Day, I celebrate by kicking my family out of the house, and I just kind of do nothing for a few hours. So I want them out, and then I might fire up the Elden Ring. Who knows? We'll see.
There you go. That's a great plan. I wonder why it's always different though. Like you have is it always like May for you? Like could we
It's
have ours
always
in
the
March?
second Sunday in May.
Okay, weird. Wonder
Hmm.
like they just don't. Somebody made it up and said no, you have to have two different ones. It's like that, but
I don't.
Father's Day. Yeah.
So who had it? I don't even know who had it first. I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Whatever card company come up with it.
Do you have so Father's Day is the third Sunday in
Oh, I
June,
can never
I
remember.
think.
I don't know.
So we have Mother's Day in May and Father's Day in
Like,
June. So I don't know if that's the same
our
day.
one's 15th of June.
Okay, that might be ours. Let's see. When when is Father's Day? 20 I don't need to know 2026. It's 2025. Father's Day. Yeah, 15th of June. So we do
Okay,
have the same.
Father's Day.
Yeah,
Weird.
the third Sunday, so the 1st, 8th, 15th. Yeah, 3rd Sunday in June, 2nd Sunday in May. So yeah, it's only Mother's Day
Mm.
that you guys screw up.
But yeah. Well, I hope you have a good day. Yeah, that's good.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah,
I
that's it. But
intend to.
we're ripping on me and Mr. Porkchop because our sons have the same birthday, so we're ramping forward to especially mine's going to be 4.
4!
So yeah, I know.
Oh my
So
gosh.
he's got birthday party time and all that. So here, so for his, so yeah, it's going to be mad. We're slowly getting things like arranged for that. So a couple of
Nice.
family members are like, "What day? What? What do you mean? What day? It's every year." Like
The
that.
same
So
day every year.
Jay's like, "Get it? Come on, just make a commitment. He's 4. You can be here for an hour."
Oh,
Like that. So yeah,
yes.
it's a bit fun. So yeah, he's he doesn't want to be 4 though. He likes 3. So he likes the number 3. So but then yeah,
Oh,
it's gonna be like that. So I just think, but yeah, he was running around in your Ravens shirt. Yeah,
good team.
yesterday.
He's got
And so
taste,
like
I'm
that. So
telling you.
yeah. But, what was it for? What was it? Oh, well, this is it because likes the Willy Wonka and chocolate
Uh-huh.
factory Chinese one. Of course, Willy Wonka has a purple. He doesn't have
Yes.
anything purple except for that top. So
Well,
he was running
there
around
you
with
go.
it because he did also think it was Willy Wonka. And he can just sing now the whole thing. And I was like, is he going to like it? And he loves it. Absolutely adores that original movie. Absolutely. It's
Is
great.
that on the wheel? Hang on. We just said, did
Willy
we
Wonka,
have
I
a
don't know.
musical? Has to be on there.
I don't know. Might have to put it. Have to get him in. Should we have like will it be probably 4 or 5? Will it probably be 10 by the time we get it on the wheel? But I don't
Really?
know.
Nope, we don't have. Nope, no
Yeah.
Charlie, no Willie. Nope.
There we go. Yeah, I don't like new one. I always have to be the
No,
old one.
don't like the new one.
No. Too
It
dark.
it
Too
was
dark.
the it is too dark, and it's another Johnny Depp starting to play Johnny Depp, right? He
Mm.
plays everything in that same quirky way, whereas, like, I love him as Captain Jack Sparrow. I do. I think that's when the super weird quirkiness kind of
Yeah.
started, and it bleeds over. Even though it's a different quirkiness, like, I would just like to see him in a dramatic role. I would just like to
He
see
did
him
that
not.
once he got like after the trial, didn't he? He did that French movie, didn't he? And I've
Oh, I
not
don't
seen it
know.
yet.
No,
Yeah,
I've
like
not
he
seen.
played a serious one, but it was French. Like that, and I
Mm.
can't remember. Yeah, it was a French production. And I can't remember what it was called, but he did what won that, and I feel it's like Louis the 14th, I think it was, or 13th. I
Oh,
can't remember. Like an early, like a different interpretation of that, but I can't remember what it was called. But
I'll
yeah,
have to
that's
look
it.
that
But yeah,
up.
but it's like he does it like Ryan Reynolds. Like every time,
Yep.
oh, I like Deadpool, and it's just Ryan Reynolds. He's just
It's
being
just
Ryan Reynolds
yep.
on all his movies. You're just playing. You've got no difference. Like what's that movie? Oh, when was it? Full no something guy,
Fall
and he's
Guy.
in Fall. Is it no not Fall Guy? Fall Guy. Is it Fall Guy?
Oh, not Fall Guy. No, I know what you mean. No, not Fall Guy. The
Something Guy, and
character,
he plays the guy.
the
His character and it's called Guy, but
the
it's something
character,
Guy, isn't he?
the video game,
Yeah, the video. He's
the
and it's got
oh, come on, Extra Guy. No, um,
oh chat. Go
come
on,
on.
without looking up.
Here
Go
we
on,
go.
this is gonna bug you. You better look it up.
Ryan. Oh, this is gonna kill me. It's the video game thing.
Yeah, and like he just plays literally bled Deadpool. He's playing Deadpool in it. He's literally exactly the same, but the thing, like, yeah,
It's
because they call him the blue guy, don't he? Blue shirt guy, but it's
Jeez
not.
Louise. He's in so many films. I can't even scroll down. Um,
It's
Deadpool,
something like that.
Deadpool, Wolverine. Spirited Away, Bullet Train, Atom Project, Red Notice, Cinnamon Bear, Free Guy,
Yeah.
Free,
Free guy. Oh,
Free
you were
Guy.
so
Should have
close.
known it. I was like
Free
saying
guy.
Extra Guy. It's Free Guy.
Yeah, but yeah, like he just
Uh,
plays exactly everything he does. It's just like you're playing exactly the
it
same
is.
character. He's got like the niche because it worked with Deadpool, and then you just go back with it's like, yeah, your older stuff is exactly what you did in Deadpool, but lucky enough you worked with Deadpool. So yeah, it's yeah, I think he's career might be coming to a
Oh my
halt
God, that
soon
film
because I
was
think
nominated for an Oscar. I just
what
hang on.
was
Hopefully for
Free Guy.
special effects.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
can get
okay,
that. Yeah,
special effects.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not
Jeez, it
fucking
can't be for
acting.
acting. No. No, yeah,
Oh,
it was for
I
special
like
effects.
what's the English woman in it who's from Liverpool. I can't remember her name ever. She's in it, isn't she? Because everybody forgets that she's got a proper Scouse accent and she does like American accents really, really well. I
Oh,
can't
who is
remember it
that?
at the minute.
It's not the older
The
one, not Kim
the
Cattrall.
one, no, the one in that movie.
Oh, I already closed it. I don't know who's
Okay, like I can never remember her name. She's been in like you're seeing yeah, but she's been in loads. But yeah.
Oh, Daryl's back with Madonna references.
Madonna.
Desperately
Desperately
Seeking
Seeking
Susan.
Susan. No, but, okay, I can take that. I can take that. Oh, but she's not really hardly in it. It's all about the other actress,
Daryl,
isn't
back
she?
then, like back in the day, like of True Blue, like her first album, that was my first 2 CDs when I was like 5 and got my first CD player was Whitney Houston and Madonna. So I got True Blue and I got Whitney. So yeah,
My
so that a good album.
can I say my cousin was obsessed with Madonna. Absolutely loved her. Absolutely loved her. Like that. So yeah, even to the point where like I told you, like in '92, the sex book came out. He
Mhm.
went to America to get that book.
Oh my God.
Like that because it was banned around the world. So he just because it was Madonna, get it.
Had to come
That was
here to
it.
get it. Wow.
Yeah, I had to come out again. I still remember, could he come back and it was like in a silver foil thing.
Mhm.
Couldn't be open. So I'm guessing that'd be, I don't know if that's worth any money, but yeah,
All a
it was like in a
gimmick.
silver thing. Quite clever. But I think that was more a thing that got banned everywhere because it was so, yeah, raunchy. Let's put it that way.
Madonna and I have Elvis in common. My birthday is 1/8, Elvis's birthday, and Madonna's birthday is 8/16, his death day? Okay.
What?
Goodness
Just
gracious.
like just
Oh,
blank.
Highlander, we were talking about you. Only tangentially were we talking about.
Let me go. Well, we can ask Highlander as you're in chat. Highlander, what would be worse, asking you to make a pick for the film club or Abe? There we
If
go.
it were
Sorry,
if
been
we had
getting
if there were a bar on the wheel of film that said, "Let chat pick a film," Who would be worse, you or
I think I'd
Abe?
easier with Abe.
Of course he's gonna go Abe. Highlander, would you pay $1,000 in a super chat in order to name a film? Stacy said he'd accept that.
He'd put Braveheart on it, wouldn't he?
And we would suffer through. For $1,000, we would suffer
Yeah, but we would rip
through.
that for historical accuracy.
We would
That would
have
be
a
the bit.
blast tearing
That'd be
it
like,
to
oh,
shreds.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
it.
everything from the horseback riding
Mm.
to
The paint
everything.
to the flags
The
to the
paint, the
actual
flags, the
the
people.
people in
How
time,
about
the
the
people
people who are
who
in the wrong places at the wrong time?
yes, only born a century later. That's okay. We can live
Just
with
the
that.
100
Just
years.
minor.
Still no prob. No prob. Oh,
Oh,
oh, that's right. So Highlander, so James, so
mhm.
Highlander met my dad this morning
Yes.
and taught us both all about the difference between a hillbilly hoedown and a hootenanny. And
What a hootenanny.
Highlander went to a hillbilly hoedown today and a wine fest. And so it looks like you got 9
Ah.
bottles. I hope you had a great time, Highlander. We had great weather
What's
here.
a
I hope.
what's a hootenanny?
Oh, Highlander, what's a hootenanny?
A hoedown, you kind of I hope I know what a hoedown
He
is,
told me
but
a hootenanny has to be in a barn. So a
oh, okay.
hootenanny is in a barn and a hoedown is outside or something. So
Okay. Interesting.
hoedown
Interesting.
starts in 30 minutes.
Oh
Awesome.
my god. Ah, you got your boots on.
Highlander, I
Ready to
want
go.
photos. Post
I
photos to the
do. I do.
Discord, please.
That's
Post
it. I just
photos
like
to
that.
the Discord, please. You've been ordered. I want to see them.
And
You
only
got
the
to meet
beginning
my
bits. I don't
dad.
want it when you're
I
very,
get to
very
see
bad.
the hoedown. Drink lots of
Oh,
wine. Drank
oh,
lots of
good.
wine. Awesome. Good for
That's
you.
good.
Well, glad
Cool.
you could join Highlander at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Better late
Yeah,
than
just
never.
end it. Yes. God, disgraceful. You should play us on the big screen. That'd be fine. They love it. But yeah, cool. Anyway, yes, for myself, as that was a long. What are you doing? I'm gonna probably stop Oblivion. That's
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah, I'm just gonna mix it up, and I'm gonna mix it up with more other games that I've got downloaded and ready to go. Some horror ones. I want to play a couple of horror ones. Tried one out and it was awful, but I want to go back to Skyrim. I'm kind of just like
Mm.
you play a game and you miss another game. Kind of, yeah. I might go back to that, but yeah. Otherwise, from that, I think it's run its time. And I remember I liked it, and I think it just gets a bit samey after a while, and you just kind of regurgitating the same thing. Like the problem with it, and they should have upgraded it, is a lot of the dungeons just are bloody the same, and you're
Mm.
just doing it like you kind of can navigate around it. Got lost the other day. Chat
Mhm.
had to help me out of a water well thing. I couldn't figure it
Oh,
out.
fun.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't because I was like getting really frustrated. But lucky enough, chat was there to go. We'll Google it which way you got to go because we're getting confused now. Because I was like, even like they have something called clairvoyance that you can find your pathway out, and that wasn't working. So I got proper stuck.
Well, it's good to have
But
helpers.
yeah, there we go. So that was a bit of fun. But yeah, I'm gonna try something else. Yeah, and it would go things, but I might be very, very busy very, very soon. So I might have to go down to like 1 or 2 a day because I've been doing it mostly like one a day. So that has been quite good. I think I had 1 day off last week, so that was good. But yeah, all a bit of fun. Been really enjoying it. So yeah, but I think it's time for something new. So yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's especially like as you know, like these games, you can like do 200 plus hours and you're not even halfway through it. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So
I just when I
Elden,
fired back up Elden Ring after a while, it said I had played 166 hours. And because this time I'm really just exploring the world, I've only
mm,
beaten one boss, and I'm really not needing to because I wanna see everything. I wanna, like I want every single corner of this game. I wanna unveil every single site of grace. I'm just having fun exploring. I'm
yeah,
not trying to beat the game, and
that's what I
yeah, I've
do.
got
I have a wander. I
166.
like to have a
Yeah!
wander. I like
Well, you
wandering.
would
I
like
don't
Elden Ring, you would like Elden Ring, just
didn't
saying.
Dan try and he didn't really like it,
Oh,
didn't
he
he?
lasted 2
Yeah.
days, and he had Jane Theory helping him. So,
Okay. What? Just confused or didn't like it?
just not his thing. I mean, I think
Okay.
it's a big story, you
Okay.
know? Not that it has a lot of cutscenes. In the beginning, it does. It takes a while to get started, but then
Mm.
Souls games are hard. No, I'm not saying Dan can't do it, but so you've got to like, go after even the mid bosses, 5 or 6 times before you beat them. You've got to keep playing, and there's a lot of satisfaction in that for some people. For others, they just want to, move on in the game, and you can't
He
do that
died
in
a
this
lot.
game. Yeah, he died. He died a lot. You died. Yeah.
Probably got more frustrated then. That's it. So, but bless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
He'll go
it
back
like
to a
it's a big
supermarket
game.
simulator soon. It'll be fine.
I played that for a little while. That was kind of
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, it's
Oh,
just too big. It's a big game for his
mm,
kind of streams. So
yeah.
yeah, no, he's what's he playing now? He's back on
He's playing Oblivion, wasn't he?
Oblivion.
He's
Yeah,
loving
he's
that.
been
He's getting
playing.
some good numbers on it. So yeah, the things. I didn't think he would like that because he didn't like Skyrim. So I was very shocked that he's really enjoying it. And I've spoken to him
Good.
off file, and he's like, I will really,
He's
really
getting
enjoy
a
it.
ton
So
of views. Oh my God, he was
yeah,
getting a ton of views.
yeah. So yeah, fair play. He likes that. Is Phenomenon on the list? Is that John Travolta's Phenomenon?
No, it's not.
No, it won't be. Oh yeah, John Travolta's Phenomenon. Not a great movie like that. It's okay. You
No,
can
it's
watch
not
it.
on
It's not great.
not on the wheel. Is that Highlander? Of course it's Highlander.
Yeah, kind of. And you have to say phenomenon.
Highlander, go back to your hootenanny.
Yeah.
Love you, Highlander.
Well spelt though. Well spelt. That's it. Yeah. If that was not looked up. Phenomenon. With wine as well. You've had wine. Phenomenon.
Oh, I think I'm gonna have a glass myself.
Yeah.
I think yeah, that's on the
There
list
you
for
go.
the evening. Yep.
Very, very nice. But yeah, cool. But everybody, we have to tell Jay what his new homework is. But
Yes.
I already did my homework and then it got changed last minute. But we will have Whiplash, whatever happens, I'm guessing. He said he'll be there. So Jay will be back and we can find out how much sleep he's getting. That'd be fun. But bless him. But Jay hopefully will be back next week. But for next week, remember, if you didn't do your homework's now back to Whiplash. So enjoy that. I hope you enjoyed our little baseball run. I have indeed. I can't yet recommend this highly enough. If you haven't seen this movie, go watch it because you'll have some fun. It is a great sit down and watch with yourself or family and friends. That's all I have to say. But until then, have a great one, everyone. Have a great rest of the weekend. It's been very nice and sunny. So hopefully everybody's having a nice little sunny time, putting the barbecues on and stuff. UK can guarantee there's going to be some fired up tomorrow. We can't do barbecues, but they're going to be fired up tomorrow. But everybody, have a great one. Thank you all for joining on. Daryl, Madonna. That's all we'll end it with. Until next time. Bye for now.
Bye.